And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome out to St. Thomas More here in Lafayette. And just getting you started as foot put into this one back to the 8-yard line where St. Thomas More has it, and they'll pick up and head to the outside. There's a big opportunity, 30, now 40, getting a seam to the 50, 40. One man to beat is going to be the kicker who is newly signed. He's not going to do it. St. Thomas More takes the opening kickoff back to the house. That one goes 90 yards to the house, and just like that, Coach, we didn't have a we didn't have a pregame in there, but I've got to believe that one of your keys to the game would have been to not let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And special teams, for anybody that saw the LSU game, knew that was a big key in that game. So, and that wasn't a good way to start for the Trojans to give up a touchdown right off the bat on kickoff.
Look, you brought it up. Don't blame the kicker in that LSU game. That was the offensive line that did that.
And the blocking back.
Yeah. Extra point is up. We're going to leave it right here as we were late getting on. Ash on the road down I-49 to the Lafayette area where they have come in to visit St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More fresh off of that defeat last year when they came up to Alexandria and took that one. But, my goodness, new kicker out there tonight. Coach got him off the soccer field.
Yeah.
And took your heed there, and that's what they used to do with Coach Severio was around. But those of you, this game is tape delayed, and so it got the late start. So we are that's why we're just a few minutes behind everything else. But the Trojans, or St. Thomas More, the Cougars win the toss, and they elect to receive, and, well, now we see why.
Yeah, that was one of the strong suits actually last week. The kickoff team was doing a really good job of coverage and then gave up one like that to start the bet. And that was one of my keys to, for the Trojans to come out fast and not get behind the 8 ball, so to speak. And already we're down 7 points.
So getting set to tee this one up for St. Thomas More is number 23. That, well, they've got a couple of number 23s. One thing we noticed about this St. Thomas More team is they've got a lot of ball players out there. That's going to come back to the near side. Trojan has it. That is JT Lindsey. Lindsey trying to return the favor. He's to the 30, now 40. Cuts back to the outside, 50. JT's got a wall. He's got to get into it all the way down to the 35. And look, I'm going to tell you, we talked about all the way down here today explosive offenses. We might not get an offensive play. I say that in jest because here it comes, but my goodness.
Yeah, well, and I wanted the defense to come out and shut them down, but so far hadn't seen either defenses till now.
Now you'll see it. Joe's going to come out ready to go. He'll have Datlin Cunningham in the backfield. The senior running back has 5 touchdowns on the season between the Jamboree and Game 1. Again, Ash Trojan football brought to you by the all-new Giles Hyundai in Alexandria. Handoff goes to Cunningham. He's got a kid to the outside. Going to be brought down by that big defensive line.
Nice job by number 7. I think that was a linebacker come in and made the tackle. Had a little counter trap, one of the favorite plays for the Trojans, and they picked up maybe 1 yard on the play.
Trojans in their white uniforms, all white unis, and we can tell it because there's no mud out there today. We've seen that the last 2 times. High handoff corralled by Joe. He gets it to Cunningham. Cunningham going to be met right at the interior of the line. And very spirited defense stepping up for the Cougars of St. Thomas More.
Basically the same play, it looked like to me. Picked up 3 or 4 more yards, and then you bet this is 4 down territory. They're on this side of the 50-yard line and on about the 31-yard line.
7-0 early on. St. Thomas More has the lead. They took the opening kickoff 91 yards to the house. Now Joe and that offense. There's a toss out to Cunningham trying to get to the outside. Now cuts it back to the inside and is going to get down a yard shy of the first down. Those, I'm going to call that old man chains over there because they're digital. You don't have to guess or anything. You can see that it's 2 yards to go, even from way over here.
Yeah, even me with my glasses, I can spot that. And it even shows how many yards they got to go for a first down. That's real fancy there.
Trojans need just a couple here. 4th down and 2. Cunningham has been the recipient of the ball most of the play. Trojans are going to get a timeout. Again, we'll keep it right here. Don't want to miss a 4th down play. Beautiful, beautiful setup here at St. Thomas More. Of course, they do things right. The hospitality has been unbelievable. Tried a new thing tonight called Viva La Waffle.
I tell you what,
that's pretty good.
It was worth the trip just to eat the hospitality.
Absolutely. What a great area this is. press box, similar to Ash in only that it looks directly into the sun for the first hour or two prior to it. But a great place to be up here. Glad you could join us. If you're watching it tape delayed, thank you so much for following along with us on the delay while we are here. 10 minutes to go, first quarter play. St. Thomas More shocked the Trojans with that 91-yard touchdown return on the opening kickoff. Thought J.T. Lindsey was going to do it right behind him. Instead, stopped at the 35. Now the Trojans have it 4th and 2 following that timeout. Receiver to the top, one to the near side. Cunningham's going to get it up the middle. He's going to sneak through, and they will mark him right on the line. Now, we saw this last week where they had to get out the credit card to measure, and the Trojans didn't get it. And you see all of the Cougars pointing back their way and all the Trojans pointing the other. The Trojans on the ball. They just had to get to the 25 and did.
Yeah, I thought we was going to get a hometown spot there. It was a left foot, right spot. That time we got the left foot spot.
First down and 10, moving the chains are your Trojans. Again, we are down in the Lafayette area.
Trying to get the clock right, get the reset to 40-second clock. That's a new thing in high school. Used to be it was 25 seconds from when the got marked. Now they got 40 from the time the ball's blown.
A few changes this year. We'll talk about some of that as we go along. Right now it's 1st and 10. Cunningham gets the ball up the middle, and he has indeed been the workhorse. You know, Lindsey will spell him some. We saw Lindsey get the ball on the opening kickoff.
Basically running the same play over and over again. They must have spied something on film, and they attacking that right side. St. Thomas More, the left side of their defense.
Just the one pass in this one. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the top. That's that Noah's Ark formation, we like to call it. You know why, Coach?
No, give up.
2 by 2.
Oh,
of course,
yeah.
come on.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's
I had bone up on my biblical there a little
there
bit.
you go. Cunningham with the handoff up the middle. Got a little bit of seam. Gets hit hard right on the hip. Lucky he hung on to that one. Picks up 3, and that will bring up 3rd down. And the Trojans, Coach, look like they're trying to slow this thing down as they just pound away. Now, they come up to the line of scrimmage, make their attack at it, but just pounding away with Cunningham. Snap is back, 3rd down and 6. Going to be a false start, it appears. 8.5 to go in this first quarter of play. 7-0. Cougars have the lead.
Well, you know, they last week the other team, Karen Crow, kind of dictated the tempo early, and caused the Trojans, they just pounded the ball down the field and didn't give them much time on offense. Tonight, it looks like they're trying to, you know, slow the game down and keep control of the tempo.
Glad that you were able to join us, albeit a little bit of a delay in this one. Tape delayed. You'll be able to see it in its entirety this evening and tomorrow, and then for all time there on our YouTube channel. Thanks to all of our sponsors. You see them rotating around in the corner. You see it as 7-0, the Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard. Back 3rd down now and 6 as the Trojans march in. They've got it on the 21-yard line, just outside the red zone. Joe looking things over. Now he's got trips to the near side. That is the home side as we look at it going right to left.
See Coach Bachman's giving the signals out there tonight, and Coach Mercer's up in the press box. It's a little bit changed from last week.
Snap is back to Joe, looking for a quicker little in and out of the hands of the defense, and that was intended on the far side.
I was lucky that wasn't picked off and gone the other way. He just hit him in a bad place in the hands.
And that was one of those that I don't believe the receiver was ready for as a timing pattern. You saw a 3-step drop from Joe, even out of the shotgun, and then zipped that ball to the right-hand side, but in and out of the hands, and that brings up the second 4th down attempt. You got to like one in solo coverage down on this side. Jalen Johnson now tries to run the post. That was the other way, in and out of the hands, and that one, Coach, was intended for E.J. Scott, unable to get there.
That was on Joe that time. He had his man beat by about 1.5 yards or 2, and he threw it to his back shoulder, and the receiver was not able to turn around.
And so that's going to be a turnover on downs. Pineville down to Menard 9-0 in this one early on. Pineville and Menard doing battle there in an Alexandria-Pineville matchup. But right now it is St. Thomas More out. They've got 2 to the near side, 1 to the top. They face first down and 10. Toss sweep to the near side. Good stop by that interior line of the Trojans.
Little toss pitch there, not really a sweep, just going to look like a little toss handoff. And
Chris Clark and Christian McNeese getting tangled up on the near sideline. Saw Chris Clark. We misidentified him a couple of times last week and gave me some grief about it last night out at walk-ons. 2nd down and 9.
Quarterback, is that the LSU signee?
No, he's at LSU.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Altman with the handoff. That one goes up the middle.
Uh-oh.
Sweeping miss there, and thankfully Chris Clark was there to stop that one. That would have went a long way. With the running back number 27, Charlie Payton. Payton has that one. He is the senior running back for the Cougars. And quickly to the line goes St. Thomas More again.
So far, St. Thomas More is doing a good job of execution.
This is Sam Altman, the junior quarterback. And I talked to Coach Bachman about losing Walker Howard, and he said, look, they just reloaded that quarterback position. There's always a steady diet of quarterbacks coming through here. Shifty running that time and just bouncing off. Not a lot of tackling by the Trojans. Continuing to work his way down inside the 20 to the 15 and brought down there by the Trojans. Number 10, Aiden Walker, the linebacker, having to come all the way down the field, but continuing to pound the football in kind of a speed back type game, if you will, Coach. And they're just dictating the tempo again, albeit a much quicker one.
Yeah, and he was running tough, too. Arm tackling is not going to bring him down either.
Altman with the handoff, and there's Big Bryce right in the middle, along with Dozart and Crew along the inside. Bryce had 14 tackles last week, 10 of those solo and 4 for losses.
Yeah, my granddaughter told me to give him a shout-out. I said, I don't think he'll need to get a shout-out.
He'll get plenty of them. Got several of them last week. 2nd down and 9 inside the 15 to the 14 go the Cougars. Handoff once again to the near side. Stiff arming and getting into the end zone for the 2nd St. Thomas More touchdown of the night. That is Hutch Swilly. Hutch Swilly, the junior running back, gets into the end zone there. And goodness gracious, just haven't even made it to the first hydration break, Coach, and already it's 13-0 in this one, pending the PAT.
Well, St. Thomas More saw something at Karen Grove, and they just pounding the ball, and part of it's poor tackling by the Trojans.
Going to take our first time out of the night following this PAT. The snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. 14-0 Cougars lead early on. Back after this. You're watching Ash Trojan football on 446 Sports.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
We are back, albeit tape delayed. Trojans trail in this one 14-0. Jalen Johnson, JT Lindsay back deep to receive. The Trojans find themselves in a hole again. Beautiful kick going to find its way back to the end zone, and that's an automatic touchback, and the Trojans will start that 1st down and 10. Coming up at halftime, we're going to speak with the new folks at Giles Hyundai, and my buddy Ryan LeBlanc has joined us in the press box from down in this Lafayette area, and a proud graduate of Erath High School has joined us up here, and we're excited to have them not only in Alexandria and central Louisiana, but what they're doing for our community. 2-time Dealer of the Year, according to Time Magazine, and that's out of 16,000 dealers, is Bob Giles. Back to action we go. Quick toss over to the right-hand side. That is complete and down the line. Going to be a 1st down. Looks like Amirion Mingo with the reception. Amirion Mingo picks up 10 on the play exactly, and that'll make it 1st down and 10. Tell you, the one that's got the quickest move, Coach, tonight is that official that's spotting the ball between these two offenses.
Don't waste no time.
First down and 10. Joe's got 2 to the near side, 1 to the top, and Mingo alongside Joe looked back over to Coach Bachman in that sideline to get the signs in. Coach Bachman signaling the signs in this year. Toss to the near side goes Cunningham. Cunningham trying to get to the corner. He's not going to find anything except 2 defenders coming up from St. Thomas More. And, Coach, the speed of that Cougar defense is impressive.
Absolutely. And, it looked like he had the corner turned, and they run him down. We're going to get the hydration timeout right here at the 6-minute mark.
We'll take it with them. We'll be right back in 1 minute. You're watching Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Back live we go. 2nd down and 10 for the Trojans following that no gain. Cunningham now goes out in motion, and Joe just shaking his head in disbelief.
He stepped back, and the guy was in motion, so you got a legal procedure there. 2 guys moving at the same time. Not a good start for the offense and the defense, for that matter.
We talked about a game of inches. Now, the opening kickoff that was taken 91 yards, and JT had an opportunity to go back the other way with it, was stopped at the 35. Defense rises to the occasion, keeps the Trojans out of the end zone. They march right back. Trojans have got to get something on the board here. You can't fall down 21-0 to a powerhouse like this, in and out of the hands. And a little bit of case of the drops there for the Trojans. That's E.J. Scott as we get things going. 9-0, Menard with the lead.
That's
3rd down now and 15. Trojans 3 to the top, 1 to the near side. That Cougar crowd is getting loud. They got the cowbells going. They got the crowd going, and they've got another penalty flag, and that's going to call a false start. Throws it right on the center's back in that one.
Yeah, that referee got an arm, son. He threw that in 30 yards out there to hit the center. And
wanted to see who had it, indeed.
I guess he got it to the right guy, huh?
3rd down and 20 for the Trojans. They find themselves back at their own 20-yard line where things started following the touchback, but have some big work to do.
Got 3-man rush.
3-man rush. Joe stepping right up into it, though. Just swarming are the Cougars, and they're going to drop Joe for the loss of a yard, so that will go down as a sack, make it 4th down and 12. Well, they mark him at the line of scrimmage, so they don't call the sack. But 4th down and 20. Joe stays in the game to punt. He is at his 5-yard line. Was averaging around 40 yards a kick last week.
I tell you what, I'm impressed with St. Thomas More's physicality. They are really hammering them. Oh, nice punt.
Yeah, Joe hammers that one. Need a break here, but instead the fair catch is called for and made out at the 47-yard line, and that's where that high-powered St. Thomas More offense will take over. Just 7 minutes into this first quarter, Coach, and they are staring down what they saw last week in a 14-0 deficit. Now 21-0 before the Trojans got going last week.
Right, and the defense shoddy tackling, they've had opportunity to stop the guy for, 4 and 5 yards gains, and they keep running. Of course, you got to give credit to St. Thomas More. Their blocking is excellent. They're putting a hat on a hat.
Handoff is there. Trojans unable to wrap up and just falling forward. And that's one thing that we did see a lot of last week was the offense just the running back able to fall forward for a couple of yards, right. And that's what happened there.
They had him stopped at with maybe a 2-yard gain. He winds up picking up 5 instead because he kept churning.
2nd down and 5 as the Cougars look to the near side. 14-0. St. Thomas More with the lead. A good, impressive long drive and a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. 4:30 and counting in just the first. 14-0. Quick throw over the top. Looking back.
Out of bounds.
Got to see if he's out of bounds, and was, but that was a great throw and just a pretty solid catch by Hayes Monclaw, but he was out of bounds there.
Yeah, he turned completely around and still able to make the catch, but he was out of bounds. It's 3rd down and about 6 or 7. The Trojans need to get a stop right here.
Chris Clark had pretty good coverage on that. Chris Clark, the corner to the near side. Josh Marie in at corner to the far side.
I'd look for the draw or screen right here if I was Trojans.
3rd down and 5, an opportunity to perhaps get the Cougars off the field offensively. But other side of the 50, if you're St. Thomas More, there's an opportunity for you to go get it. Coming in motion on the Cougars, that's going to be a jet sweep to the far side. No need to question it as the 1st down is going to be picked up.
And once again, you had the wide receivers were out there blocking at the point of attack and did a good job of getting him to the corner. Of course,
well, they'll mark him short. Ball sits on the 45-yard line, will be 4th and 1, and you know that this St. Thomas More offense will stay on the field, and they do.
Gonna give it to number 25. I hadn't been able to stop him probably the whole night. It's looks like Hutch Swilly. Got a couple of 25s, but he's a running back, so I'm assuming that's him.
Looking to the near side, 4th down and 1. 14-0, 4:16 to go, first quarter of play. Handoff comes to the middle, and there's not going to touch him. Gets to the corner, 40. Good move by the running back, and he's off to the races. So what was 4th and 1? And, Coach, you equate that to the basketball term of breaking the ankle on that move that he made. And that was your man Hutch Swilly that takes that one to the house. And the Trojans find themselves in a huge hole again, Coach, 21-0. And you think that these Cougars have a little memory of that 59 the Trojans put up on them last year.
Right, and then they're executing. I'm impressed with the execution. I mean, they're putting a hat on hat. Nobody's running free, and they're putting them on, blocking them on the ground. That
one's up, and it is good. 21-0. 4:06 remaining. We'll be back after this. You're watching Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier. Transactions are getting safer. And you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Back to live action we go, and I'm telling you, this has been a couple of first quarters, Coach, that we can do without in it. My goodness.
Well, see, I didn't get to my keys to my game, but that was one of the things I think last week we just kind of come out kind of flat after the Pineville Jamboree, maybe thinking we were a little bit better than we are, and I thought this week that, you know, after the drubbing they took in the first quarter and a half against Karen Crow, that they would be a little more ready. But St. Thomas More come out ready to play, and once again the Trojans are behind the 8 ball.
Ball blows off of the tee, and have to reset. That's the only thing that stopped St. Thomas More tonight was the wind blowing that ball off. And you see the flags down on the end, or you will when you watch this one. That kick is up. And it is back. JT Lindsey's going to field it at his 2-yard line. Come up. He's looking for a seam. Need a big one from you, JT. Not going to find us. He is hit hard back at the 13-yard line. And just a step faster and a bit stronger. This St. Thomas More team, Coach, is poised for a big night if things don't settle down.
Well, and I'm just impressed with the physicality. They're slapping our guys in the mouth, and right now we're taking it. We've not put anybody on the ground, not say retaliated, but
not able to stand up and answer the bell.
Right.
2 to the top, 1 to the near side. So the Trojans flip the formation that they've ran a lot of through this first quarter. Still Cunningham in the backfield, and he gets it. He's going to try to get to the outside, but that offensive line is not really – Coach, we talk about setting up that secondary line of scrimmage and pushing that defensive line back just a little bit, and Trojans have been unable to do that so far. A good gain of 4 on the play, but Cunningham not able to really break free.
Yeah, and we're not getting to the linebackers either. They're playing a 4-man front, 2 linebackers inside, and they're walking the outside linebackers up.
High snap again. Cunningham was at the other side of Joe this time. The play flips and comes this way. And they'll give another 4 to Joe. So, Coach, you'll take 4-yard chunks at it.
Yeah, but we can keep this up, like I say, 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, I'll take it.
Speaking
keep
of that,
them off the offensive side.
grateful not to be in the mud this week after the first couple of games. Cunningham gets it once again. Got to get to the 25. And they do give him – they give him the first down out. Ball sits on the 25 is where he had to get to the 25 to get the first. The line to gain was just inside at about the 24.5. Quickly the Trojans to the line of scrimmage with that common no-huddle type offense, but that doesn't mean they're going quite the NASCAR pace that we saw in the past. Snap is back. Quick throw to the near side is complete. Now trying to get to the outside. Going to get another 4-yard gain as that was complete to Eric Jones. Eric Jones on the near side. Joe finding a couple of other receivers because Mingo and Jalen Johnson have been covered and covered up well.
Yeah, they've taken the 2 big receivers away, so he's going to have to look at some other folks to kind of get them loosened up.
Joe, another quick one. Got to be careful there. That's out to Mingo. Mingo's got it at the 30, all the way down to the 40-yard line. But I'm telling you, Coach, if there's not that zip on it, that's 6 the other way. But you know about ifs and ands and buts and such as that.
And I won't say it on the air.
Thank you. Family show.
Yeah.
First down and 10 for the Trojans from the 40-yard line. Need a big one here. Snap is back. Joe's got it. There goes Cunningham up the middle. Datlin has to have carried the ball about 12 times already. To say he's been the workhorse is an understatement in this.
Yeah, they're making it look. They're starting to move the defense a little bit better. The offensive line opening up some holes. Anytime you can pick up 4 and 5 yards on first down, it's a good thing.
Signaling to the near side is Jimmy Duncan like he's uncovered, but the ball goes back to Cunningham. He's got a little bit of a seam now. Going to get inside the 40 to the 39 goes Datlin.
I think must have made some adjustments on the blocking schemes on the sidelines over there because they're starting to open up some holes for the Trojan running back.
We just got to quit spotting these teams 21.
Exactly.
Again, it was quick for us to get onto the call of it, but St. Thomas More did win the toss, elected to receive, and have scored on their first 3 possessions. Trojans unable to do so. First down and 10 is just a beautiful sunset is coming over St. Thomas More here. Cunningham with the handoff. You know, they thought we were going to see some committee type running, and that's JT Lindsay that has spelled Cunningham just a little bit. He's a little bit of a faster back. Cunningham more of a bruising running back. JT Lindsay, the sophomore running back, who was set to start this year until the offseason work of Cunningham. Joe back to pass throws. That slot that he likes to. Out to Jalen Johnson, and he's got it complete down to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit the quick passes because I don't think he's going to have enough time to sit back there and look for the long routes. But so far they're moving the ball really well, better than they did the first couple of series.
Mingo in the slot at the top. To the near side is Jones. Cunningham back in. Now he is getting the block. That one thrown too high. Intended on the inside that time to Darius Washington. Washington, the sophomore receiver, unable to pull that one down. 24 seconds remain here, and might not wait till halftime. We may start the second quarter and get my man Ryan on the headset and let him. He's still shaking his head no. Something about car guys and sports you're supposed to have though.
That's right.
I don't know.
Better than my country voice up there.
24 seconds remain in what has been the most inauspicious start for these Trojans. They find themselves down 21-0 again. Handoff goes to Datlin. Datlin finding a big thing, banging around in there down inside the 10. And it's going to be first and goal for the Trojans. We'll see if they hurry to the line. Joe is trying to get his folks up to the line to try to get this thing going and get one more play before things switch around, and they do. Handoff up the middle, line being pushed forward. don't think that they'll be able to get another one off. Second down and goal when we come back. It'll be from the 5-yard line. First quarter is in the books. Your Trojans trail, but they are knocking on the door. We'll come back. We'll start the second quarter and get ready for a big Trojan comeback. Right after this, you're watching Ash Trojan football on 446 Sports.
There was a huge assembly, and then he came to the gym, and he announced it.
I would like to honor a warrior that is right here.
I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor kidney cancer.
Colin McGee. We're going to fly you and your family to Universal Studios in Los Angeles to meet Adam Levine. Yes!
I got there, and then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and the water felt good, and I found a bunch of cool rocks, and then we went to The Voice the next day. I got to meet Adam Levine after the show, which was amazing.
I'm Bob Giles, and I believe every business should give back. Join me at gilesgivesback.com.
Got an opportunity to visit with Ryan LeBlanc. He is the managing partner of the Giles Group. He is with the all-new Giles Hyundai in Alexandria and brought it to Central Louisiana. And he said, man, if I'd have just been here a month earlier and bought it, I think I understand. Those that know that joke right there. Second down and goal from the 5. Joe back to pass now at 2nd and 5. Zips this one in. And that is caught.
Touchdown.
That's a touchdown for the Trojans. That's it. Miriam Mingo on the far sideline that gets that one. Touchdown Mingo, touchdown Trojans.
If you saw on replay there, it was just very, very close. I mean, the defender was right on him. It was an excellent throw by Joe that time.
When you get to watch this, you'll see that instant replay, and there's that ball right in there. We'll have that up on the highlights tonight. Great work by my man Chuck Perkins, getting everything up and rolling.
And our kicker man was on the sideline. Apparently was asleep, and now we're going to comes running on the field with. He's still got plenty of time to get set.
21-7 the score. The scoreboard, the Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard doesn't reflect it. And that ball hits the ground. Mingo's got it. He's going to try to get to the end zone, but instead makes his way out of there. We'll get Chuck to adjust that scoreboard at the top of it.
Yeah.
And just the scoring went pretty quick. That's the difference. But needless to say, we have kept up, I think, pretty good with it. Back to the old radio days, Coach, when you have to tape delay a game. Yeah. And 21-7 now. Just 4 seconds in. Great pass and catch from Bordelon to Mingo for the 5-yard touchdown. And might be having a little bit of difficulty.
Once again, special teams, missed opportunity to get an extra point. Should we get 2 more scores, it's going to put them behind the 8 ball again. But at least they scored and showed a little momentum. And as far as the offense goes, now the defense has got to step up and put a stop and try to get some decent field position here.
Again, it's St. Thomas More 21, Ash 6, as the extra point was missed in there, the low snap, and Mingo tried to pick it up and take his way into the end zone and saw a line of St. Thomas More defenders and thought better of it and just got outside and take the no gain on it.
Be a good time for a sky kick right here. There's a big hole between the 40 and the 10-yard line. The defense could get down there on it.
Update from Menard. That game is 12-0. There you go. Had it backwards. Right up the middle goes St. Thomas More once again. Here comes that kick team to stop the Cougars, where they will start at the 21-yard line.
Got a lot of young guys out there, but at that time they were able to bring him down for a good field position. But
we'll go back and watch this one later and try to wrap our minds around that quick start from St. Thomas More. We'll see if the Trojans defense is a little bit about what happened last week. Sam Altman and that Cougar offense back ready to go. Defense playing tight on there. There goes motion from the Cougars. A little bit of a misdirection play. And Good tackling on the inside. We'll see who that was from the linebacker spot. Coming all the way up and making that tackle was Josh Marie. 8-yard pickup, though, Coach, and you cannot allow 6, 7, 8-yard gains because that's how you got yourself in a 21-0 hole to start with. There's that same play to the near side, a little bit of holding there.
Going on.
When you see the jersey stretch apart, that's when you have a good indication the holding was there.
Well, this is, Lafayette Association. You're not going to get the best.
Come on, Coach.
Oh, come on now.
Come
I know.
on
I've done been
now.
down here before.
Come on now. First down
I thought
and
our
10.
crew did a good job last week, I have to say. There wasn't a difference in the ball game for sure.
First down and 10. Ball out to the 32-yard line.
You need to get over here in the camera and get my mug off of him. So.
Well, you're not on there, thankfully.
Oh, good.
It's going to be the game when everybody's able to watch it. Handoff goes up the middle, and there's that interior line.
We could get 2 more stops like that. They seem to be having a success going outside their ends. They're blocking everybody down and pulling guys around the end of the line of scrimmage and then sealing the inside linebackers, and they're picking up 7, 8 yards a pop. See what they do this time. They haven't thrown the ball a whole lot, which is kind of surprising.
Well, I mean,
when you
quite
running
frankly,
10 yards a pop.
Right. I'll say that they've not had to throw the ball around. And run blocking, certainly, the big offensive linemen love that. That's a high snap, but again, the handoff there. And, Coach, just a ton of misdirection. Good, strong job of hanging on by Chris Clark to not let Swilly go on that one.
Once again, they blocked down with everybody except the tight end on this side blocked the defensive end out, and he had a hole, cut the linebacker off, and luckily the cornerback was able to make the tackle. Otherwise, he might have scored.
Third down and a yard. Out to the 41-yard line go the Cougars. A little bit of a wild Cougar, it looks like, action happening there as Swilly is back in at quarterback.
They checking off to something here. Third and about short 1.
Tried to see if they could draw the Trojans off, as that happened to him a couple of times last week. Snap is back, and you know that Swilly's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get the first down. That's a good play from a solid running young man. Look, paying attention to the blocking out there. Number 78 along that offensive line, Eric Abadi, the junior offensive lineman, number 78. He's one of those dudes that's out there.
Yeah, well, that's the key right now. To me, their offensive line is getting the best of our guys. Not so much up front, but they're cutting the linebackers off and getting to the second level, and they're picking up big chunks of yardage.
First down and 10. New quarterback in. That is Matthew Gomez. Will Taylor. Will Taylor in at quarterback. And again, Coach, you got so many players that the numbers are doubled on a lot of it. False start whistled against the Cougars, and again, that and the ball blowing off the tee has been about the only 2 stops that have happened for St. Thomas More. You see the first bit of action for Taylor, and Bachman told me they had a little bit of a 2-quarterback system. They've got a couple of signal callers that Coach Hightower is really impressed with. 9:13 remaining until halftime, 21-6 in this one. Cougars have the lead. Handoff comes to the near side, cutting back up. And, Coach, you see a lot of spread run and then finding a hole and back up the middle. These St. Thomas More backs do a great job of seeing a hole and finding one and cutting to it.
Right. They run that same play back to the tight end side, and they're blocking everybody down, pulling somebody and kicking out on their ends and sealing the linebackers and then picking up 5 and 6 yards a chunk.
Second down and 5 for the Cougars, just inside Trojan territory. Nose of the football rests on the 49. A little bit of reverse there, and the Trojans defense sucked in on that one. And it has just been everything that St. Thomas More has wanted to do, they've been able to do. On the carry that time was Christian McNeese.
I hate to keep harping on it, but there is a lot of holding going on. Of course, the point of attack, and it's not an obvious one, but they're getting their hands outside the body and pulling on jerseys and everything else. But as long as you can get away with it, it counts.
8.5 remaining until halftime in a game that has been pretty much controlled by St. Thomas More. The Trojans did go down and get a touchdown. That's a high snap back. Throwing over, wide open receiver and down the slot. It is complete, getting into the end zone, and that is another big touchdown, 39-yard touchdown pass, and the lights blink here, and man, what an atmosphere here in Lafayette tonight.
Looked like Tanner Hornbeck looked like number 5 or 6. I couldn't.
Yeah, Tanner Hornbeck brought that one in, and that was off the arm of Will Taylor. And we told you that they had a couple of quarterbacks, man, paying dividends. 27-6 in this one. Kick is up, and it is good. We'll be back after this. You're watching Ash Trojan football. A little bit of a penalty flag, so we'll check that out when we come back. You're watching Ash Trojan football on 446 Sports.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
And we're back.
Back to action we go, and I guess I missed my cue on that one in a little bit of stunned silence. So that penalty was against the Trojans, we believe, on that. Was it unsportsmanlike conduct, Coach, at the end of that PAT?
I just saw him motion his hand.
Yeah, he chopped the arm.
So what was a kick from the 40 now will be from the Trojan 45-yard line.
Yeah, but be careful here. They may onside it just to add insult to injury here. I wouldn't be surprised if St. Thomas More didn't try to come with an onside kick. Trojans I just don't know what to say.
A lot of football. They were impressive on that last drive. The defense just really has not had an answer for this St. Thomas More offense tonight. Very fast track out there. It's dry. The turf this is just a great playing surface. But St. Thomas More has really been efficient, let's say, in this first half.
And good execution on their part, blocking at the point of attack, and that's a big difference. I could pick up a few yards. That's going to be
kick is high and going to make its way into the end zone for a touchback. That's one of those, Coach, you thought about maybe the sky kick perhaps and let your D get down there, but the Trojans will have it from the 20-yard line, so not really a bad exchange on that penalty.
Yeah, I'm looking at St. Thomas More's defense. They're not really any really big guys, and the safety's probably number 3.
Number 3 is a big guy.
Big guy, but as far as the defensive line, they look like they're maybe 5'10", 6 foot at the most, and maybe 225. But they're solid up front.
Nicholas Beckwith, and we did hear a lot about that young man. First down and 10. Joe's got it. Play action. Joe keeps it himself. Is only going to get a yard, and St. Thomas More was all on top of that. And Joe slow to get up. Looks like, and that's.
Looks like he might have got his foot stepped on or something. He kind of
holding a little bit of that back hamstring also on the right side, but that's why you don't see Joe run often.
Yeah.
Joe's got a second down and 8. Quick snap throw to the far side. That one in and out of the hands and nearly picked off again, Coach. And just a case of the unsure hands out there tonight.
Yeah, it's number 14, Eric Jones. He hit him right in the hands. Just took his eyes off the ball. Was looking up downfield a little bit to see who's coming and dropped it.
That wheel route out of the backfield worked a couple of times last week, as they were able to sneak the back out of the backfield.
The other thing, I'm kind of curious, we haven't had a lot of crossing routes or, what I call stop routes, spot routes. Just go down 10 yards, turn around and throw it to them, and seem like everything's
kind of the screen set up there, and Datlin has to catch it off the back of the offensive lineman, and you're going to get an ineligible receiver downfield, we believe, but it was such a late penalty flag that was thrown.
Oh, but they call that one.
And checking it again, they'll look things over.
I saw the umpire give a tap on the top of the head, and that usually means it's ineligible downfield.
And they're waving it off.
Well.
And that's what the Trojans got. But I don't know if you got to see that on the replay or not tomorrow. We'll cut it up, and that'll be a highlight that you'll be able to catch tomorrow. But caught it off the back of the receiver like, I don't know who it was for the Giants way back when, off the helmet. But anyway, not a fair comparison at all. I digress. Back to action. 1st down and 10 we go. Quick hit out to Jalen Johnson, and he gets down and is knocked out of bounds at the 35.
A little difference in their tackling and our tackling. Our guys are going down with a one-man tackle, where theirs is taking 2 or 3 for us to bring them down.
28-6 in this one. Mingo waving his hands. He is covered. Looks like a little bit of a mismatch as they've got a linebacker that is out there on Mingo, but the handoff goes to Cunningham. Cunningham picks up roughly 5, give him. And these blitzers from St. Thomas More taking a little bit of an extra hit on Joe when they come up on that run stunt.
Yeah, he's already given the ball away, and they're still putting a lick on him.
Physicality, Coach, you said it, and that has indeed been the case. They'll give Cunningham 4 points in that one, and getting vocal are the Ash coaches just to our right.
Got single coverage on the outside guy out here. Safety's kind of cheated over, helping on the inside man.
That's Washington that's in the man coverage to the near side. Joe creeps back up a yard or so. Cunningham and looked like Joe had a thought of whether he was going to keep it, but never did, and that just allowed that defensive line coach to get after it.
Yeah, I think they had a little stunt going that time by St. Thomas More, and they was able to penetrate the line of scrimmage. It's going to make it 3rd and long.
Trojans had the ball deep. We're around here on their first drive and were unable to do it. Of course, it was 4 down territory. We're going to get to the hydration break. We'll take it with them. We'll be back. And that didn't mean you, Chuck. We'll be back right after this. You're watching Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
If you could fly, you can play hide and go seek in the clouds. I want to be a pilot. So you can see the whole entire world. If you could fly, you could see the whole world whenever you want.
You're really gonna go on a plane with a pilot. Seriously. Your dream's gonna come true.
And we are back, 3rd down and 8 from the 35-yard line. Joe back to pass, has time. There's that stop route you talked about, Coach. Complete to Marion Mingo out to the 21-yard line. And that's just what you called a moment ago. Go down 10 yards and turn around.
That's it. A spot route, they're bailing the secondary. By that I mean they're turning around and taking off, not giving up the big pass and the little turnarounds, button hooks, stop routes, whatever you want to call them.
1st down and 10. Cunningham gets it, does a fancy little Barry Sanders type skip jump and gets to the right-hand side. I'm bringing out all of my old NFL references. David Tyree was the one that caught the pass from Eli that we talked about earlier, and that was in the Super Bowl. We've got one of those newspaper guys with us, and we're used to Lamar. This guy knows everything as well. So there you go. Complete to the far side, and that's Johnson. Johnson with a full head of steam gets off into the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Johnson. Touchdown, Trojans.
Yeah, you can see the secondary. They were bailing out there, and they're giving 8 and 10 yards, and that's what they're doing. They're just hitting the short stop spot routes, and he's turning it on and scoring, not trying to hit the big one.
That's the old ball coach in you there. Not old, I mean OL. Affectionately known as, yeah.
Yeah, I'm old. I see.
Got him a shave and a hair since last week. He got some camera time, and he calls me up and he says, "Man, I see myself on camera. I got to do this."
Oh, it was ugly too.
Game or the?
Well, and Roger Walker was out there sporting, good looks and everything.
Kick is up, and it is good. 28-13. Trojans trailing this one back in 30 seconds on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
And we are back. Getting set to kick this one off are the Trojans. And so, Coach, you triple duty tonight. You're not only calling the game, drove the bus, and now you're running the soundboard. That's good stuff.
Hey, I'm getting educated here, and they don't get too technical. I only have to punch 2 buttons and pull one little thing down.
2 buttons and 1 lever, and you're good. That's right.
Anything else, I'm in trouble.
Back, and it is caught there at the 10-yard line.
Uh-oh.
Another big run here and a big seam on the kickoff return.
We might better start dribbling it on the ground here, because when we're getting it deep, they're returning it at just about at will up, except for one time that we had a good stop on it, but they starting out on about the 50-yard line for this possession with a 28-13 lead.
28-13, 5 minutes to go until halftime. The Trojans do get the ball to start things off in the second half, but they've got to get a stop and a score out of this one. Back to pass. That one is complete. Little screen out of the backfield.
Number 25, St. Thomas More. That's our boy. So I want to go Henry. I got 2 25s. Yes, Swilly, my bad. I was close.
A lot of football going on. St. Mary's 6 and Buckeye 0. Is that right, Chuck? Did we see that one? Second down and 8 for St. Thomas More from the Trojan 48-yard line, and they have spent the bulk of this night in plus territory, trying to get to the outside, and a good job of Josh Marie coming up and making that tackle.
Yeah, did a good job of recovering. They're pulling and leading with the back, and that gives them 2 blockers at the point of attack. But did a good job of stringing it out and not letting him cut up. Third down. This is a big down right here. If we can get a stop right here and make them have to punt the ball.
Third down and 4 in this one, and you just wonder if they will ever punt the football.
Don't know if they can punt the football. I hadn't seen it so far.
That one is complete out to the near side. Chris Clark coming up and making that tackle shy of the 40. Going to be 4th down and a yard.
And you look for them to go for it here. Try to draw the Trojans offside, I would think. They tried to do that a while ago, and then they wound up punting it. Here comes 25 back into the game again. That's Swilly.
We've seen him catch the football and just hang on to it.
And 27 is also in there. He's one of the stronger runners. He's a senior, Charlie Payton for St. Thomas More.
Snap is high. Got it big, and there's Big Bryce rushing, but he's unable to make the tackle. Caught him in the backfield a yard deep, but it was forward momentum.
Good job by Payton of dragging him for that extra yard. Like I say, he had him in the backfield, but was able to pick up the first down anyway. And somebody's down for the Trojans. I can't tell if it's Bryce or not.
Let's see. No, it looks like right to his back in this one.
94. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Got my eyes on, and I can't. Whoever 94 is for the Trojans. You need to get bigger print. Don't have 94.
I know, right? That wasn't mine.
Okay, well, anyway, at any rate, he's back up. Got first down on about the 39.5 yard line. Trojans need a stop here for 4.5. There's a handoff there to number 27 again, and picks up a good 7-8 yards on the play. Doug's letting me do the play-by-play. This is scary territory. Be second down and about 2 yards for a first down. Trojans need to get a stop here with about 3 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in this first half. Can't afford to give up another score. And we got a discussion going on with officials. I don't see the flag, but possibility. You got a personal foul against Trojans, which is going to move the ball down and on down the field. There's going to be first down and on about the 16-yard line, and that didn't help the situation any. St. Thomas More with 28-13 lead here. Number 17 is the quarterback for St. Thomas More. That's Altman. And once again, got another flag. And the Trojans jumped in the neutral zone. Pick up another 5. It'll be 1st and 5 on the 11-yard line. Trojans shooting themselves in the foot right here on this drive, trying to up, and he makes the pass. Oh, picked off. Get down and then number 2 for the Trojans. That's Chris Clark. Go ahead and score, son.
They whistled it in, though.
I don't know why. This ain't pros. Boy, that's I don't understand. He just returned the ball all the way for a touchdown. The officials apparently blew the whistle, and everybody stopped.
I hate to be the.
It's going to be an inadvertent whistle, apparently.
I hate to be the bearer of bad luck, but it's not. The way the coaches are rushing down the sideline, Coach, that's going to be, looks like a 109-yard pick 6 out of this. We'll try to get the official word from the officials, but
well, everybody just stopped. And,
except Chris Clark.
Yeah.
And they're marking the ball back down around the 20-yard line.
They're going to give it to us on the 20.
And that is going to have Coach Bachman livid in that one.
Boy, look, I'd still be fuming. I don't know if maybe there's a new rule in high school. If it's intercepted in the end zone, it goes dead. I don't know. That, to me, it's silly. Oh, well, at any rate, it's the Trojan football on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 with about 2:52 to go in this.
Did a great job on it, though, Coach. You got him into an interception, so that's
I don't know
not
if I
bad.
had anything to do with it, but I'll take it.
1st down and 10, go the Trojans.
Once again, I think we need to hit the little stop routes because their secondary is bailing out here.
And that was following, that INT was following a offsides by the Trojans, so things had
And
just
a personal foul. So they were moving the ball.
Snap throw again. There's Joe. He gets it back out to Jalen Johnson. Same pass as the touchdown. And Trojans are finding a little bit of sunshine out on that left side.
Yeah, and then we're hitting the short routes and letting the receivers pick up the yardage. Defensive coach from St. Thomas More is going crazy over here trying to get the guy off the field. Safety's backed up about 15 yards. So
there goes Cunningham to the far side.
He was one step away.
Just gets dropped there, but again, they'd come out throwing, and now they try to hit Datlin real quick, and the Trojans with an opportunity to get this thing back to a one-score game.
Need the old NASCAR right here. It's taking too much time between plays.
2:26 remaining until halftime. Trojans need a score and execute when they come out of the half. Right now, Joe back to pass. He's going to have to tuck this one and run, and he does. Slides in just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
I don't think the Trojans have, but one timeout left, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I see, correct. St. Thomas More with their full complement of timeouts. You see the Jumbotron encouraging this Cougar fan base to get loud. There's Cunningham again right up the middle, and he's going to get the first down out to the 44-yard. Well, they'll mark him at the 43.5 still, give him the first down. 1:49 until halftime. Trojans have a lot of time.
Still, Coach Bachman signaling in the plays here. That, like I say, that's a change from last week. He's doing the play signaling. Coach Mercer's up in the press box here tonight.
Snap throw finds Mingo. Mingo trying to break a tackle and doesn't. You know what they're setting up, Coach, is a little bit of a pump fake there. fake the shot out to that wide receiver and send him deep after that DB commits to it, and he should walk into the end zone. That's pass is complete, so the clock continues to run. 44-yard line for the Trojans, 2nd down and 9. Joe back to pass, set up the screen again. That was complete. Domingo trying to get to the outside, now cuts back in, trying to shake a tackle, gets the first down inside Cougar territory to the 42.
Little bubble screen. We hadn't seen that in too much as of late. Send 2 receivers down, and Mingo peels back underneath and picks up nice yardage here.
They'll give him the 43 officially. Snap is back. Joe, another quick throw. This time it's Jalen once again.
Nice tackle over there by number 24.
Yeah,
St.
good
Thomas
job of
More.
tackling by the Cougars. Now we're under 50 seconds. 2nd down and 6. And the Trojans will take what looks like their final timeout. We'll see if it was, in fact, the Trojans. I believe it was.
Yeah, Mackie Castile for St. Thomas More made a nice open field tackle. Just a sophomore. Was able to bring the Trojan receiver down. Got 49 seconds still, time to pick up another couple of first downs and go for the big bomb. Don't know what the Trojans got up the sleeve here. So far they've been more successful on the left side than they have. Of course, that's Joe's strong side. I mean, he's left-handed. I wondered about that last week when they were rolling Joe to the right-hand side and him a left-hander. It makes it difficult for a left-hander to throw that direction.
Correct. This time he's just facing that left side and zipping that ball out there.
Back when Coach Mack was calling offensive plays for Tioga back in the day, he was a left-hander, and we couldn't figure out why we kept running left, but we figured it out after a while because he was left-handed.
So blame it on Coach Joe. Yeah. Back to pass once again. He's got time going over the top, just over the head of the intended receiver.
He had him by about 3 yards, but Joe put the zip on that one and overthrew him by a good 2 or 3 yards. But come back with that one in a minute. Try to pick up the first down right here. We got 3rd and about 6, 7 yards to go. A little stop route would be good here.
Trojans need to come out of this with some points.
Safety's bailing. There it is.
That ball is, they're calling it incomplete. As the ball hit the ground.
Yeah, he had it going down and then popped out as he hit the ground. It's going to be 4th down. This is going to be a big play here to pick up first down and keep the drive alive with 39 seconds to go.
Trojans will go for it here.
Coach taking a long time. Got still plenty of time on the play clock, 25 seconds. Of course, play clock is stopped, 39 seconds. Check with me. It's 4th down. Joe saying we can. 9 seconds on the play clock. 8, 6, 5, 4, and they get it off.
Good pressure from the Cougars. Joe steps up and is going to have to get the first. He lowers his head, gets out of bounds, gets the first. That's a big time play by the senior left-hander, out of bounds at the 33.
Yeah, they're going, man, I tell you what, that's a terrible spot. If he don't give him the first down there, something bad wrong.
12-6, Menard has the lead at the half.
Just barely, boy. That was a mighty close spot. It looked like he had it by a good 2 or 3 yards. And they're saying he wasn't out of bounds, so it's going to be 1st and 10. Joe drops back, zips it. Oh,
ball tipped there,
linebacker.
And goodness.
Lucky it wasn't picked off. That time number looks like 42 for St. Thomas More. Got a hand on it. And luckily it bounced away unintercepted. That's Hernandez, the linebacker. So we've got 20 seconds left, and Joe's got an opportunity still. Probably try to hit maybe a crossing route underneath. Safety's playing deep middle back there. Not giving up anything deep. We got a timeout by St. Thomas More.
St. Thomas More doing their best to hang on to this one. We're going to keep it right here, Coach. And as you've talked about here, the Trojans have mixed things up offensively. They go down 21-0 in this one before they get their first points on the board. Then 21-6. St. Thomas More goes back down and gets a touchdown, 28-6. Trojans right back down the field, and running off of this one, what was, we thought, a 109-yard pick six from Chris Clark.
They'll have to explain that to me when, undoubtedly they blew it dead. I don't know,
Looked like the guys, when he caught it, kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And then the official blew the whistle, but 109 yards later, Clark was in the end zone to no avail.
Well, I'm sure Coach Bachman will have clarified it at y'all's meeting Thursday night, find out what exactly happened.
We will discuss that with them, and probably somehow on the ride home tonight, we will do that as well. But it is 28-13. Cougars have the lead, but the Trojans trying to get down in their second down and 10 from the 33-yard line. 20 seconds remaining.
Joe's checking out the secondary. They're dropping everybody out. There's only a three-man rush. Oh, my goodness. They tried to run the underneath screen there, but he had to get rid of it a little quick, and receiver wasn't ready for it. Third down and 10 yards to go, 15 seconds. They're good for about 2 more plays. Got the signal in. Joe's ready to chunk it.
Third down and 10. Bordelon back to pass. Trying to get his guys down the field. Zips this one, but throws it behind the intended receiver.
It's going to be fourth down. Go for the big one, or you try to pick up the first down?
9 seconds to go. I think you don't see this a lot of times. You see the old hook and lateral that gets ran on it.
Got a timeout here, but St. Thomas More called it again. I guess they want to make sure they
nobody gets behind you. Make
yeah.
sure of all of those things.
Trojans.
28-13 in this one. It started out 21-0 St. Thomas More, but the electric kickoff return by the Cougars, 91 yards to the house to start things off, made it 7-0. You thought JT Lindsay was going to answer back. He comes down to the Cougars' 35-yard line, but was unable to get anything going. For there were the Trojans.
Yeah, you know me in special teams. That's a big thing that especially early in the year, it's going to cost you a game sometimes, and it'll help you win a game sometimes. And so far, it's bit the Trojans tonight.
Giving a lot of pressure over the top. That potential first down is there, but the Trojans won't have time.
Three-man rush, and they're dropping everybody up except the middle linebacker, so he's going to have to hit something about 10, 15 yards deep, just a stop route.
Run that slot towards the official. You do have a timeout. They go over the middle, and Joe just airmails this one, intended for Jalen Johnson. There'll be 2 seconds remaining.
Hit the defender in the hands, and he couldn't catch it.
So 28-13 is where we're going to find ourselves at halftime in this tape-delayed broadcast of it here. 28-13. They look like they wound the extra 2 seconds off. 12-6 at the half. Menard over Pineville, and it is halftime here. It looks like as both teams are making their ways to the.
Coach Bachman's wanting to know what transpired. I think with the deal a while ago. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Coach Bachman not very happy with that at all, and he is getting his money's worth out there on this one, and we'll talk to him sometime tonight, of course, and relay the way things went back there. It is halftime here in Lafayette. Coach Ernie Lott, I am Doug Gann, and we'll be back to give you some insight to things, how they went in the first half when we come back.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Lock On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Lock On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investment.
If you could fly, you can play hide and go seek in the clouds. I want to be a pilot. So you can see the whole entire world. If you could fly, you could see the whole world whenever you want.
You're really gonna go on a plane with a pilot. Seriously. Your dream's gonna come true.
Please join us in supporting Dreams Come True of Louisiana. Donate today at gilesgivesback.com.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
There was a huge assembly, and then he came to the gym, and he announced it.
I would like to honor a warrior that is right here.
I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor kidney cancer.
Colin McGee. We're going to fly you and your family to Universal Studios in Los Angeles to meet Adam Levine. Yes.
I got there, and then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and the water felt good, and I found a bunch of cool rocks, and then we went to The Voice the next day. I got to meet Adam Levine after the show, which was amazing.
I'm Bob Giles, and I believe every business should give back. Join me at gilesgivesback.com.
The fine folks at BK Distributors want to thank all the educators for weathering the storms, so to speak, through 2020 and beyond. Thank you for your dedication to our children. The end of the school year awards are now available. Any type of award, trophies, banners, plaques, they do it all at BK Distributors. So with school almost out, that means summer leagues are in full swing. New items, same great prices, and fast turnaround. BK Distributors, Highway 20 in East Pineville behind Arby's.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Cenla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Back to St. Thomas More we go. Coaching 28-13 at the half. The Trojans find themselves behind. And, I mean, it was about 8 seconds into the game that they saw their first deficit on that 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah, like I say, we didn't have a chance to go over the keys of the game, but that was one of my very first things that we needed to get off to a fast start, unlike the Karen Crow game where they got down 21-0 and Karen Crow kind of dictated the pace of the game. 3 yards in a cloud of dust and burn up a lot of clock, and then kind of put Trojans behind the 8 ball. Defense didn't show up for the first quarter in that one, and in this case, it's a combination of both offense and defense. Just I don't know if it was the ride or what, or St. Thomas More come out for bear, but didn't bode well for the Trojans early on in there. In the second quarter, then they started to get things clicking. Some adjustments were made, blocking schemes and defensive-wise, and did a little bit better job. But St. Thomas More was just hammering them in the first quarter. They were running over us, poor tackling on the Trojans' parts, and got behind. And hopefully they can come back in the second half and get back in this game. They were moving the ball right there at the end. Time ran out and wasn't able to get a score. That would have made it 20 or 21 to 28, which would have made it a little closer. We get the ball to start the second half, so they can come down and get a score, get right back in this thing.
You know, we talked about it last week as well. The Trojans had an opportunity. They were down by a score going into the half, had an opportunity to get in there and get the touchdown, and were unable to do so, and came out in similar circumstance, had the ball to start the second half, were unable to get a touchdown of it. Karen Crow went down and extended the lead back to 2 touchdowns. The Trojans now have some work to do to get it back within 1. That D's got to work. Good signs of life to that offense in the second quarter, but man, you've got to have some. It just St. Thomas More is really you don't say a step ahead, but a step ahead.
Yeah, to me, I was most impressed with their blocking schemes. They were putting a hat on a hat. We didn't have anybody running free, and even when we did have somebody come up to make a tackle, their running backs were running extremely hard and was running over our guys, especially in that first quarter. Coach made some adjustments there in the second quarter, and they did a little bit better job. But still, we hadn't been able to completely shut them down. The interception there right before the half stopped another scoring drive, or it would be 35-13 right now.
And well, what a difference it makes. The inadvertent whistle caused that to be a touchback. We believe was the call on that. That moved. You know, now you can say that he took it back to the house perhaps because everybody had stopped, and you think that he heard the whistle on there, and that may be what led to the wide open real estate. But Bachman was visibly upset at that point.
Yeah, you know, he ran around the end zone. It's nothing like he just stops, and that was the thing that I couldn't understand. And, you know, he was still making an effort. It had been different if he just stopped and stood there, but he you'll see it on the replay, I'm sure. He continued to run around the end zone, and then once he kept going, and then he kind of hesitated, I guess, when they blew the whistle. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah, that's history now, but there's nothing you can do about it. The Trojans going to have to come out and play a whole lot better the second half if they're going to get back in this game.
Indeed, they are. A lot of football to go in this one, and if you come out and get the touchdown here, you've got yourself some momentum. And this must be a new thing this year, flashing those LED lights. You know, back in the day, Coach, when you turn them lights off, you're 45 minutes before they come back on, so you can't flash them but once.
That's it. You'd be playing in the dark. And I have had some games where we played with just one bank of lights on one side because the other one went out and couldn't get them to come back on. And so
you remember a few years ago at Ash where the one of the bank of lights on the near side went out. Shortly after that, a bank of lights on the far side went out, and, you know, they were scratching their heads wondering what was going on. And we found out later it was inside the concession stand that their crock pot wasn't working, so they were flicking fuse breakers, and it knocked off a couple of the banks of lights. And, you know, they don't have the LED lights, so it took till after halftime to get the lights back on in that one. And it was reminded me of the Christmas Vacation movie where they're turning that light on and off and on and off, and that was that was just one of those stories of a lot of excitement. And we'll see if the Trojans are able to write a story on an epic comeback. We're going to take one more break. We've got the 3-minute warm-up. We believe lightning we see off to our left. Have to be real careful with that. Going to take a quick 1-minute break, and we'll be back. You're listening to Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Welcome back to the second half of action here. St. Thomas More, Lafayette, Louisiana. Again, this game can be seen in its entirety on the tape delay basis starting tonight. We'll upload the rest of it when we get home, but a tape delay basis due to contractual agreements here. So you'll be able to pick this one up in its entirety tomorrow. Probably late tonight, knowing Chuck and the trip back on here. But we find ourselves on game one of a back-to-back road week. Coach, as a reminder, game is next Thursday in Natchitoches. Yeah. So the Thomas Bachman Show will be Wednesday night live from Walk-Ons. Had a great time. Should have been out there with us. You're probably driving the water polo team somewhere, though, or something.
Actually, I was. It was the soccer volleyball team, but we went to the east side of the state, and they pulled out a big win over Slaughter, if you know where Slaughter is.
I do. I do know that.
In the middle of nowhere. But anyway, they won three straight sets, games, whatever you call it in volleyball. But I got back late. Tried to catch the replay, but it had a little technical difficulty. I'm not too technologically advanced, so couldn't figure it out.
Nevertheless, here we go. Well, they're still grinding off those last 30 seconds. You know, they have the 12-minute halftime and then the 3 minutes after that. St. Thomas More trying out their fancy new lights tonight. That was entertaining, though. Had the ramp that was there. Their guys came out of to the smoke and came out and put up 21 points on the Trojans, but they have battled back, have the Trojans, and outscored St. Thomas More 13-7 over the last portion of it, but still some work to do. Mingo and Lindsay back deep to receive. That one goes into the end zone where it will be an automatic touchback, and the Trojans will start out from the 20-yard line.
I'd like to see them come out with the same ability. Of course, St. Thomas More had backed off a little bit and was giving them some room, but I still think the underneath routes, not try to hit the big ones, just take 10 yards a pop, move it down the field, and then every now and then go for the big one and keep mixing with runs here and there because they're not – still got plenty of time, 2 quarters left to go to make up the difference in the score here.
28-13 we go. Joe Bordelon in at quarterback. He's got Cunningham behind him. Back with Harrington now at the H-back. Really the first time we've seen Harrington play action. Got a man wide open, and that's Jalen. Jalen's got it, and he's going to waltz into the end zone. That is 80 yards. That is a touchdown, Jalen Johnson. That is a touchdown, Trojans.
Should have been a late hit on Joe there. They knocked him on his behind after the throw was made, and there was no flag. Should have been a roughing the passer, but they didn't get the call, of course.
That play action caused them, and we talk about, you see it on the replay there, the play action to Cunningham, and just wide open was Jalen, and he gets it in stride, and that's probably one of the best passes we've seen from Joe in the last couple of years.
I just watched it. The guy hit Joe right in the mouth, and nothing was called. It should have been in the pros, or there would have definitely been a penalty on that one.
That kick is up, and it is good. Going to keep it right here as we've run a bevy of commercials there. Coach Mesh, the new kicker for the Trojans, I believe.
That's who I was trying to find out who it was.
Signed off the soccer field.
Yeah, well, he put it right through. It makes a difference, and, of course, you still got to have the snap and the hold. That was a problem last week. We didn't get a good snap down. And
so 11 seconds in, and the Trojans get back to within 1. And my goodness, what a big-time arm Joe showed off right there. 80 yards officially on the touchdown pass and catch. You'll see that, again, when we post this all in its entirety. You will also see that highlight cut up and brought back to you.
Notice the lightning back to the south, I guess be southeast of here. I was talking to one of the ladies on the bus, and she said that it was talking about it could be rain around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So hopefully the lightning will hold off.
That one's more of a squib kick that bounces around, picked up on stride to the 15-yard line. Good job of coverage there. Josh Marie is able to come up and get that. And, yeah, great work.
A little more intensity by the cover team that time. A lot of young guys out there on your special teams, on the kickoff return teams, and they did a nice job that time of stopping them on about the 25-yard line, 30-yard line.
28-20. Now the Trojans trail this one by just one score. Handoffs up the middle. They're going to have a stop in this, and there's a big-time play along that defensive line, and that's going to bring Wright out of the game. His first game back, and great to see that young man back.
And I still say they're holding big time. If you watch it on the video, the guy at the point of attack practically tackled the defensive end that time and would not turn him loose, but there was nothing called. They were managed to stop him for 2-yard gain, however.
Second down and 8 from the 32-yard line, let's call it.
So far, I don't think St. Thomas Moore's been penalized for one time?
May have been just the one. Handoff goes right up the middle. That interior line led by Bryce Rushing. And just some intensity along that defensive front now.
It looks a little more like what we've seen from the Trojans in the past. Because Severio's not here, but the defensive front, we got some good guys up there. Just needed to come out, slapping them in the mouth, start the game.
Caleb Andrus comes up and makes that play.
Going to be third
and
long.
7, yeah, just a yard gain there. Back to pass is St. Thomas More. Look like they're setting up the screen, and that one just gets thrown away. Good coverage there, and have to be careful. Chris Clark continuing the play. And right there, when you get a big stop, Coach, you got to make sure you get off the field, punt it around, and get that offense back out there. And you've got an opportunity to get this thing tied back up.
The officials talking to him, but they, like I say, they let it get away and they slapped Joe late after the pass, and they didn't call it, but yet they got on Clark that time for a little.
Darius Washington back to receive. He stands at his 35-yard line.
I'd like to see a bad snap here, or a block would be nice.
Topples up 13-12 now.
13-12, the Rebels take the lead. That kick is off, and it's end over end. Washington's got it at the 34. Makes a good step up the middle now. Gets out to the 45 before he is laid flat out right there. And things continuing to be chippy out there, if you will.
Looks like number 40 for St. Thomas More. He came up and laid a lick on him. That would qualify for a slopper locker. I can't even say it.
Oh, goodness.
Walker.
And you got to drive the bus home.
I had nothing but a Diet Coke and a water.
Coke and a smile. From the 45-yard line come the Trojans. Last time they were on the field, all they did was go one play 80 yards in 11 seconds. Receiver to the near side is Jones. A little bit of a play action once again. Joe looking over the top, and they're playing some Tecmo Bowl offense now. Just drop back and throw it. And Joe continues to be hit after he throws it.
Coach Free is out there on the sideline giving the white hat fits. That's the second time that they've hit Joe after the throw was gone.
In a row,
and they haven't called it.
Second down and 10, but you see, this is the offense that most of these young guys play in that Madden. They just drop back and throw it as far as they can throw it and look for the catch. The heck with running the ball. Throw the verticals.
Yeah, I'd go back to the little stop route here. The secondary bailing out.
And there it is. The defense from St. Thomas More, though, on the spot with that one, as they did not give up. That's why that play action, that pump fake, will be effective from there, and why it was on the first play.
Right. They need to go a little further down the field, like a little 10-yard down to the first down markers and stop, rather than at the line of scrimmage. But
opportunity for crossing perhaps your two receivers to the near side as they are spread pretty wide.
Crowd's
back to
getting
pass
into it.
Is Joe. Throws this one over the top and just a little bit too far.
He didn't want to lay out for it. I might have had a shot at it, but like I say, it was a little bit high.
Remember Bordelon the punter, but they'll swap offense for special teams, and out comes the Trojan punt team as quickly St. Thomas More hustles off three of their linemen.
The big guys come running off.
Been very pleased with the way that Joe has kicked the ball this season. and he gets another one off here. That one's going to be returnable, though. And good work. He kicked that one, Coach. Not a lot of hang time, a little bit more drive on it, and did not allow his kick coverage team to get down there. And we've seen more from Joe has kicked the ball a lot higher with more hang time on it in the past.
Wasn't one of his better ones, but good coverage by the Trojans to keep him picking up only about 8 or 10 yards.
Good defense by the Cougars of St. Thomas More. Now the Trojans will have to return the favor, getting good defensive line play the last couple of possessions. There's that little jet screen from the Cougars, and that's showing some life along the outside. And that one's going to be called, and that one will come all the way back.
It's about time. I mean, it was a takedown, with no doubt, right in front of us here on the 50-yard line, and practically flipped the defensive guy over, and they finally made the call.
Good piece of running that time by Hayes Monclaw, but he is going to – that will be negated, and it will go back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
That's the first holding call that they've called them, and like I say, you can go back and watch the video tomorrow or tonight, whenever. You're going to see quite a few holding calls at the point of attack that didn't get called.
28-20 in this one. First down and 21. Again, it's from the spot of the foul. So basically an 11-yard penalty. High snap, back to pass, in and out of the hands. Again, overshot the intended receiver. And, Coach, as on point as St. Thomas More was on those first three positions, it's been not really on target from quarterback Sam Altman.
Yeah, that's good coverage that time by Rylan Hall on number 36. Had the good position on the receiver, and the receivers have not been open, and they haven't, like I say, he hadn't thrown the ball as well as he did the first couple of times down the field, and they haven't been able to run the ball quite as effectively as before.
9 minutes, 10 seconds to go, third period of play. Trojans tighten things up with that 80-yard touchdown pass. Now they've got to get a stop on third. Altman back to pass once again, showing off that beautiful arm, but just a little bit too much on there as it was 5 yards past the intended receiver. But you can see, Coach, that number 5, Monclaw, is his guy.
Yeah, 60 yards in the air. I mean, he sailed that bad boy. I was trying to pick up the radar here. It looks like showing most of the rain is over to the east of us. It looks, trying to see. My phone's on slower. Maybe by the end of the broadcast it'll pop up. But
third down and 21.
Just don't give up the big one. Look for a screen or something underneath here. 22 yards to go to pick up a first.
Altman back to pass. He's getting pressure, trying to set the screen up. No, throws it to the near side, complete to the 40. And that's just a monster tackle by Chris Clark. Goodness gracious.
He lost his helmet, and they're going to have to come off. But
well, it's punt fourth down, so you'll see them punt it. But that was a big-time tackle by Chris Clark.
Yeah, a little body slam going on.
We saw Clark last night on the Thomas Bachman Show. He and Tay Frazier and Josh Marie were there. All of that, and it's back to the original line of scrimmage, fourth down and 10. Nobody back deep to receive. Now Washington hurries on. He's at the 30-yard line.
A little people going to sleep on the special teams there. And then
that snap is high, but it's back. Coming in quickly, but unable to get there. Drives Washington back to the 26. He's got it. Makes the first man miss. But the second, third, fourth, and fifth men all get him. And the Trojans will take over first down and 10 from their 30-yard line.
Good coverage by the St. Thomas More coverage team there. They were down in a hurry. Looks like, I'm looking at it on the radar, looks like it's a pretty good bit of ways. The rain shower looks like the other side of New Iberia and down even further south than that. So hopefully it'll hold off or fizzle out before it gets here.
First down and 10 for the Trojans from their 30-yard line. Third possession of the second half. The first one lasted just one play.
I'd like to see Joe go back with the short curl routes or crossing routes.
Instead, Cunningham gets it up the middle, spins around, still chugging his feet just a little bit, and will get out to the 35-yard line, pickup of 5.
A lot better job by the offensive line coming off the ball that time, too.
You know, Coach, the tempo was there for St. Thomas More, and Ash grind the ball out and grind the ball out, and now it looks like we've seen their offensive line doing a little bit better. As they've picked up 7 yards now on a couple of carries, it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, they brought some other guys in, little heavier guys on the front. They're doing a heck of a job. So I got to give them credit for St. Thomas More. Those guys are not really that big. They're, short, stocky, but I guess 235, 250 at the best.
Might be a good time to pull that screen back out. Instead, there's a hand on the jersey, but that pass is complete. Amirion Mingo has it. Forward progress is going to have him inside St. Thomas More territory. Just the ball will rest in the hook of the 5 on the 50-yard side, on the left side of it here between the 49 and the 50. But the Trojans find themselves back in St. Thomas More territory. 6:55 to go, 3rd quarter of play, 28-20 in this one.
Once again, that was a spot route. He came down, and a nice job by Mingo because the defender was standing right there. Joe put the bullet on it, and guy didn't even have time to get his hand in there. Picked up the 1st down. Not much on that one, however, on the running play.
Just about the length of the football, if anything, so they don't officially give him a yard. 2nd down and 10 from the 49. Joe, and that offense looked to the far side. Washington and Mingo to the far side. The lone receiver to the near side is Johnson.
Got single coverage
Johnson,
over
yeah,
here.
then they go into him too. Man coverage, Johnson's got it in and out of the hands. Jalen Johnson had it right there, and he is beside himself. They are finding something that is working here, getting separation. Joe put the ball right on the money, and Jalen unable to hang on to that one.
He had his man beat by a good 2 yards and just went right through his hands. You hate to see that, but that happens. This is
one
you see
thing
it in the pros and in college. So in college.
And nobody to the near side on Jimmy Duncan. Now he's covered up. Joe going the other way, and you're going to get a penalty that is thrown right off of the line of scrimmage.
I think they might have had a holding coming off the line of scrimmage. Hopefully that's the call. And that's an automatic 1st down if it's...
No, it's false start against the Trojans. It's declined. Only 3 automatic 1st downs, and that involves roughing the kicker, roughing the quarterback, and roughing the center on a long snap.
So you defensive holding?
Does not, no. There's only 3 automatic 1st downs in high school football. 4th down and 10, and Joe will be back out to punt. 6 seconds on the north side of the hydration timeout. This may get us there. Snap is back. Joe's got it, puts a foot into this one. A little bit higher on the kick, is gathered in and sliding down at the 25-yard line, where we do get inside the 6-minute hydration timeout. See if they call it here. If they do, we'll take it with them. Don't know that they've called it just yet, but we are in September, and that should be the 6-minute mark. Sometimes the officials lose sight of it, but then they'll whistle down and get it. Doesn't appear to be the case, as it'll be 1st down and 10, 5:59 in the 3rd. And finally they catch it. We'll take it with them and be back right after this. You're listening to Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
We are back. There you go. Coach is figuring out all of the buttons on there. So following the hydration timeout, good defense by St. Thomas More to shut down the Trojans there, force the punt. And now back in action. That ball bounces around.
They were lucky to get it back. The running back fell on it. The quarterback couldn't find it.
And going to be a loss of 4 on the play there. And, yeah, you're right, dangerously lucky.
And Trojans were just, we had the touchdown right there, and it went through the receiver's hands. It's just inches from being a big play and not a big play.
Back to pass now is Altman. He's coming to the near
There's
side,
a curl
looking
route.
over the top. What a tremendous catch on the near side. And big-time work out of St. Thomas More's number 2, Connor Stelly, the senior wide receiver.
And he was covered closely. They both were fighting for the ball, and he managed to come up with it. That was a heck of a catch and a throw right there.
5:43 to go, third quarter of play from Lafayette and St. Thomas More Cougar Stadium.
Both teams doing a check with me at line of scrimmage and calling play based on what they see on the defense. Here we go. Sweet.
Handoff is there, big hole, but closes quickly. The point of attack, Coach, had about a 5-6 yard gap there at the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, nice recovery by the Trojans. They're doing a lot better job of rallying to the football, where in the first half they just was opening gaps and
keep your eye out on the battle going on with Chris Clark to the near side and McNeese, as they've battled on a run play all the way, blocking all the way down to the St. Thomas More bench. So that battle is getting rather chippy itself.
Quick screen.
Snap to the near side, and that is the backup quarter. I won't say backup quarter by any means. Will Taylor, quarterback 1A, is in there. He's the one that had the touchdown pass, one of the touchdown passes earlier, seeing that he throws the ball perhaps a little bit better than Altman. 3rd down and 7 for St. Thomas More from the 47-yard line, 48 make it of the Trojans. Stelly's got it, and he snaps this one. Incomplete. Oh, and they're calling for the penalty, and it came after a lot of persuasion from the coaches on the near side, and my goodness.
Judge didn't make the call. The side judge made the call on the St. Thomas More side, and that's not his call.
They'll give him 10 yards at a 1st down from there.
And I was a former official, and I can tell you right now, it's not his call. If it had been on the sideline, it was his call, but that was an in route or post route. Quick slant, and then the umpire should have made that call.
You hear a lot from the fans down below us saying, well, we'll take it.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Well, home cooking never hurt.
Down to the 33-yard line goes St. Thomas More in a pass that keeps this drive alive on that pass interference penalty. Coming in motion now is McNeese. That's the toss to the near side, right up the middle, and it will be.
That's a little change they made. They faked a little toss play to the outside, and they cut it back up on the inside, almost like a toss draw. We used to call it 21 pick.
We've ran a lot of that tonight. Aiden Walker out of his linebacker spot comes up and makes that one 2nd down and 7 as the nose of the football just outside of the Trojan 30-yard line. 4:17, 16, and 15 remaining in this one in the 3rd quarter. One-score game, 28-20. Play action there, rolling to the near side. Got a man wide open, into the hands, they're going to mark him out at the 1-yard line. And what a beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Connor Stelly again. And that is reminiscent of that Howard to Besh hookup that was so prominent here at St. Thomas More in the last couple of years.
Yeah, he laid it out there perfectly, and the guy just reached up there and plucked it out of the air. And there he goes.
Sidestepping and getting into the end zone for St. Thomas More is once again, that is number 25, Swilly. Hutch Swilly gets in there for his 2nd touchdown of the night. The LED lights are flashing and showing off here. And I'll tell you this, it is a great football atmosphere. It's a lot of activity, a lot of festivities. The fans are really into it, and they're blowing bubbles down there too.
There's some serious money been spent right here, because they got
indeed there has.
Turf field,
extra point,
jumbotron.
Snap is low, kick is up, though the hold was what got that back in action. 35-20, the lead, 3:56 to go. We'll be back in 30 seconds on 446 Sports.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Here we are back to St. Thomas More in Cougar Stadium. St. Thomas More puts that one into the end zone, 35-20 now, pushing that lead back to 2 scores.
We just can't seem to get under that 35 mark. If we cut down to 2 or 3 touchdowns in a game, we might come out ahead. So far, we haven't been able to stop anybody, keeping them under 30 points.
Amirion Mingo, JT Lindsay back deep to receive. Well, spotting them 21 points in the first 8 minutes is a difficult way. It's tough to keep you under 35 doing that. But on the first eight minutes, they pick up 3 touchdowns, and all of you got 2 in the last, 23 or so minutes of action. That one is high, and Lindsay's going to camp under it at the 10. He's got it at the 11 now. 15 goes Lindsay, dives across to the 20. And that's where the Trojans will take things over, first down and 10.
So far, the St. Thomas More special teams have gotten the best of the Trojans, put them in bad field position. We did have one good run back earlier
to start the game, and then we're unable to do but the Trojans have bogged down 2 or 3 times on about the 35-yard line. Missed opportunities for your band of Trojans, and they're still just a couple of scores out with some 15:51 to go total as we play 3:51 to go, third quarter of play. Joe's going to roll the pocket, throws off the left side, and that ball bounced through the defender, and they're going to call that a catch on the far side. And my goodness, we'll see if we have that on the replay.
Must have went through his hands because he was right there. I thought he had picked it off myself from this angle.
That's what it looked like, and you'll catch that on the replay as it goes right through the defender's hand, and a fantastic catch.
He was able to keep his feet in bounds and make the play.
Great job, Chuck Perkins, our producer there, for getting that look back to us. First down and 10 for the Trojans, and they've got to find a way to go back down and answer this touchdown drive and get it back to 1 score.
I think so.
Snap is back. Cunningham's got it, and he's finding nothing. Might be an opportunity, Coach, to go back to that play action and send one back down the field.
Either that or those spot routes. 10 yards and pop. Uh-oh, somebody's down for St. Thomas More on the far side over there. Can't catch his number, but it looks like might be defensive end or linebacker. Don't want to speculate. Oh, you get just a cramp.
And a lot of that, the cramping, we saw it in the second half of that game last week, Coach. The fatigue and when this humidity and this heat starts to getting on those muscles this early in the season. And that's quite frankly why they have that hydration break at the 6-minute mark of each quarter, because you give these guys an extra stoppage. Absolutely safety first on any of this.
Well, and too, the things have changed from back in the day when I was coaching. We would start at the 1st of August and go 3 weeks of practice before we actually got into the season. Now they start the season practically when school starts, so they don't have a lot of time to get acclimated to the heat.
That and the helmets aren't leather anymore.
Come on now, give me a break.
Second down and 9 for the Trojans. Cunningham, no, it's play action. Good coverage down the field. Joe's going to tuck it and run. And that's what you can do when you've got that man coverage and you've got somebody down the field like that, Coach. Great job, Joe Bordelon. Great decision making.
Right. They turned it back and running with the receiver, and nobody saw where that Joe was running with the ball at all till he was down 10 yards down the field. I thought it was a pretty bad spot, actually. But
when you're playing that type of man defense and you get that receiver out there, everybody else had shifted to the near side. First down and 10 Trojans from the 48. That's Datlin. He's getting to midfield where his forward progress will stop. Will stop him. Oh, they stop him at the 49, so they'll give him just a yard gain on that one. Second down and 9.
I'm telling you what, these officials are letting them go. I mean, they blew the play dead, and they let him push him 6 yards back. That should have been a penalty right there, but no call.
Trojans have got to finish off a drive. They're playing good football between the 30s, but have got to finish this thing off. High snap to Joe, but he corrals it. Play action. Going over the top again is Johnson. To the near side, it's caught inside at the 18-yard line. Over the shoulder, and Joe down on the ground again following that one.
If I was Bachman, I think I'd have to give that umpire an earful because they've hit Joe at least 5 times on the deep throw, and they've not called it not a time.
Your Trojans have got to cap off this drive. Cunningham is in the backfield with Joe. You've got 2 receivers to the top. It's Washington at the slot. It looks like Johnson again in coverage. Coverage has loosened up. Here comes the pressure. Sets up that little bubble screen and a hit after the play, and that's going to be the 15 yards right there. They came up and hit the defenseless receiver is what they're going to call it. It was after the play.
Could be a targeted.
And you're going to come up, got him up around the shoulder blades. That'll get the ball half the distance to the goal line is what it should inside the 20. We'll see how they mark it off.
See if they call targeting. I don't know. In high school, is there such a thing?
There is, but it's got to any of the rule. They've went away with some of it. But that was just after the play. They'll call that a dead ball and move it inside. And because there are no automatic first downs, that keeps you at 2nd and 1. Again, only 3 ways to get an automatic first down in high school football. That's roughing the kicker, roughing the passer, or the holder on a long snap.
And they hadn't called roughing the passer to yet. And I promise you, go back and watch the film and see if Joe don't get hit at least 3 or 4 times.
2nd down and 1. They give it to Cunningham. He's looking for a hole. He finds it up the middle.
And
touchdown, Datlin Cunningham. Touchdown, Trojans.
Well, the answer to score now, the defense is going to have to step up.
Got a few Trojan fans on this side we hear of, and that's good to see.
That might be. I think I was on top of the press box. That was our.
That's our camera crew up there. Yeah, that's the huddle operators that are up there running that. 35-26. Trojans come out in the swinging gate, and that puts Mingo back at the point of attack. He's the holder. They shut the door on the gate and will attempt to get this thing back to a 1-score game.
Let's see if they step down and block inside like LSU didn't do.
That kick is up, and it is
no good.
No good. He missed it off to the right, so a 9-point lead. We'll be back. You're listening to Ash Trojan Football. It's St. Thomas More 35, Ash 26 on 446 Sports.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
And we are back. Just when we talk about he was getting good at pushing the buttons, there he goes and gets back on his phone. He's got a new phone. He's got the iPhone 3 now, and so it's updated.
My wife upgraded me, man.
Yeah, she did. No longer is he using the bag phone when he comes to these games. Kick comes to the near side. And you go back, Coach, on that last one. They called it was unnecessary roughness on the St. Thomas More team. Had been hitting after the whistle a few times. Finally, it was right in front of the officials. More importantly, it was right in front of that Ash bench, and you know the call is going to be made over there.
Yeah, well, I still say if I was Coach Bachman, I'd be giving the white hat an earful because Joe's been getting hit after the pass is away and about 4 or 5 times and nothing been called.
35-26 in this one. Altman back in at quarterback now. He is more of the runner of the two, turning it back inside, and a lot of I'm telling you, these cornerbacks and safeties and wide receivers, Coach, that's a battle between all of them to see afterwards. And now that looks like a cramp, and you see quickly those Trojan defenders out there trying to help what looks like Wright, who is down on the ground.
You know, that's you mentioned the fact that St. Thomas More, their wide receivers are blocking to the whistle blows downfield, even where the play's not even going to their side. They're putting a hat on a hat, and that's the thing for me is most impressive. You know, a lot of times the guys, when the play is going away from them, just kind of fiddle around, you know, fake a running a pass, but these guys are going down and blocking almost every play.
That's Bryce Rushing. Bryce Rushing, the senior defensive lineman, suffered from the cramp. He's walking off without any ill effects of that cramp. But again, this is the part in the game where you'll start seeing that hydration. 2nd down and 8. Trojans have got to get a stop here and get themselves. They find themselves down 2 scores once again by the way of the 2 missed extra points. There's a handoff coming to the near side, stopped in the backfield. And that's going to get at the mark and back to the line of scrimmage officially. But it's going to be 3rd down and 8 for St. Thomas More. An opportunity, Coach, once again for the Trojans to get STM off the field.
Got number 91 checked in for Bryson. They don't even have this number on the program.
Got to get an updated one when we get back home. Watch the reverse again, and here it comes. Good. Oh, and there's a slip down from the outside. Had an opportunity. And you go from what would have made the tackle in the backfield to a 56-yard reverse touchdown. Coach, it's a game of inches to say the least.
Yeah, we had a guy in position out there, and he just, like I say, slipped down, and it was clear sailing after that. Just when the Trojans were getting back in the game, then you give up one.
Trojans have an opportunity, so they're down 9 here. That's 6 points will make them down 15.
It's going to take 2
Still an opportunity to stay down 2 scores if you hold them to just the extra point here. And they kick it. It is up, and it is good. 42-26. We'll be back right here. You're listening to Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
The fine folks at BK Distributors want to thank all the educators for weathering the storms, so to speak, through 2020 and beyond. Thank you for your dedication to our children. The end of the school year awards are now available. Any type of award, trophies, banners, plaques, they do it all at BK Distributors. So with school almost out, that means summer leagues are in full swing. New items, same great prices, and fast turnaround. BK Distributors, Highway 20 in East Pineville behind Arby's.
Back to live action we go. 14-12. Tioga has the lead over Breaux Bridge. Menard is up in their game at Pineville, we believe, 19-13. And here it is St. Thomas More 42 and the Trojans 26. Good news is that Trojans have outscored St. Thomas More 26-21. Bad news is St. Thomas More was up 21-0 at that point. That puts us at 42-26 with 40 seconds. Again, a little bit more of good news, and it's still a 2-possession game. It was 2 possession before that touchdown. Goes from 9 to 16. Lindsey camping under it at the 6-yard line. We'll see what JT's got in him. Trying to get to the outside and going to be driven down at the 30-yard line.
I just have to say that St. Thomas More, they do put some licks on them. These guys, even the special team guys, are coming down and popping some licks. Not a lot of grabbing going on. There's sticking a shoulder in there.
Now you're at the point that gets dangerous, and you're chasing points in this one. Down 16, you know the Trojans will have to start going for 2 when they get it into the end zone, down by 2 scores and 2 extra points. But man, this is looking a lot like the game from last year, just in reverse, as Ash won that one 59-35. It's 42-26 here. Cunningham trying to work his way up the middle in what may be the last play. We'll see if the Trojans go quick. 23 seconds, may try to get another because you want to get as many snaps off in this third quarter as you can. 17-16. Still a lot of time as quickly as Joe and them get to the line of scrimmage, but they're not really showing a sense of urgency. 8 and 7 and 6 on the game clock here in the third quarter. 4 and 3. Snap is there. Play action. Looking back is Joe. Got Jalen again, and you're going to get pass interference coming in at the end of the play.
Yeah, there's a little bit behind him, but the defensive guy did kind of reach and pull his arm down, so it's just going to be.
Now, where it's not an automatic first down, it's 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, which will give the Trojans the first down.
Yeah, and my guys walking in like if it's the pro game or the college game, they're going down there where it's.
Well, they may be switching ends of the field.
Yeah.
As that's the end of the third quarter. They may give them the one untimed down.
Untimed down because they can't end
on the defensive penalty, so they will. They spot the ball at the 41-yard line. Trojans, whereas the down counts, there is no time on the clock. And they're bringing St. Thomas More's defense back out there. The Trojans are going off the field. So yet to figure out what's going on. And the official in the white hat is signaling you've got one untimed down. So you had St. Thomas More coming off. They come back on the field. You had the Trojans going on. Play clock is stopped at 18, thankfully.
Yeah, reset. They need to reset that because it'll be confusion on both teams because St. Thomas More was walking off the field.
The play action has been solid for Joe. Yeah, they reset it, so 36 seconds. They'll have plenty of time to get this play worked out. Got to make the most of it.
Here again, I'd like to see a little short stop route, and then they can give it a handoff. Oh, yeah. He was a step away.
Datlin's going to get it out near midfield, and that's where the Trojans will start things off. When we come back, fourth quarter is just a minute away. Trojans with some work to do. They trail 42-26. What do they have in the fourth? We'll find out when we come back. You're watching Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Here we go back to the fourth quarter of play. I am Doug Gann alongside of Ernie Lott. And a big shout out to the folks at, what is that thing called? The waffle place, look.
Yeah,
Viva La Waffle.
That's some good
It
grub,
was.
man.
And I'm going to tell you, we need to find, if we knew anybody in Pineville that was in charge of economic development, perhaps that could.
I thought I was sitting next to the guy.
Right. Viva La Waffle. It's and they said it's ran by some St. Thomas More alumni.
Oh, well.
So,
might get them move up our way. And, I hear you got good connection with the mayor in Pineville.
We're working on it. 2nd down and 6 for the Trojans. 5 wideouts for the first time tonight. Joe sets up that bubble screen in and out of the hands. No, it's caught and brought in. Amirion Mingo has it inside the 35 to the 33.
Little juggling act he was trying to run before he got it.
It was not Mingo. We'll see who that was. That was
14.
Was that Jones? Eric Jones had that one.
Yeah, he was trying
Eric
to run
Jones
before he got
bobbling it. To the near side is Mingo. He is joined by E.J. Scott. 3 receivers to the top of the screen.
Now they double cover now.
Joe calls for it, but a snap throw to the near side's complete.
Ooh,
spinning
like a face
around,
mask.
And they will call. The flag comes out.
Yeah, I think they caught him over there. They actually got him before the pass even got to him, and still managed to make the catch. It was a heck of a play by the receiver that time.
Spun him back into the ball. That was a good job of concentration by the Trojan receiver on that far side, and it looked to be Jimmy Duncan that brought that one in.
Face mask.
So to the near side, you've got Washington and Mingo. Duncan is the lone receiver at the top of the field. And they're marking that off. That's a 15-yard penalty that will get the Trojans inside the red zone. And, Coach, there's not an ounce of quit in the Trojans. They seem like they've been down 2 and 3 scores most of the night, but have continued to battle away.
Yeah, I'd just like to see the defense step up, and we need to get a stop here.
Joe's got it, setting up the screen once again. It's complete.
Nice recovery by St. Thomas More. We had them blocked for a second, but they was able to linebackers to come out there and make the play.
As long as St. Thomas More is going to play off of the receiver like that, Joe is going to work on some pitch and catch.
Yeah, that's something I thought in the first game we didn't do against Karen Crow. We were trying to hit the big deep routes, and they were giving us the underneath short stop routes and stuff, and
a little bit of a switch in formation. They bring Eric Jones back into the near side. Harrington is the blocking back, so they'll run the toss up to the top of the field, grinding his way, and then turns and puts his head, stays in bounds.
Boy, Bachman's out there almost on the field. I don't know. He's
almost is a stretch, Coach. He was he was almost in the end zone. Indeed he was. 10.5 remaining here in regulation, dare I say. 3rd down and 2.
Big play here. We need to pick up a first and get room to pick up a first down and without a score.
3rd and 2 from the 7 of the Cougars. Joe comes up and switches the play, and he's doing a little check with me at the line of scrimmage, adjusting his coverage, and that's a help from last week where the line adjustments weren't made. High snap, able to pull it down is Joe, bouncing around, spinning inside the 5, and that should be enough for a Trojan first down, and it will be very close.
Yeah, close. Depends on which spot we get from the right side or the left side over there.
Stop the clock, and this will be an official's timeout for a measurement, but the clock continues to run down to 9:54, so they run off about 4 seconds. After that, plenty of time in this one, though. The Trojans have got to get a score. They got to get the 2-point conversion and get a defensive stop.
What we got there?
And that's a first down. Until they stretch it out, and that's the problem. You got a couple of links extra in that chain.
That didn't work the other night when we did had the left foot right foot deal. And
this is the problem.
The chain again.
This is what unfortunately is the downfall or the tough side of a shotgun offense. You know, when you're under the center, and we saw that last week with Caesar, number 7 for Carencro, you just dive in one way or the other. Now you've got to get the snap back. You're 3 or 4 yards deep, and then you have to get those yards back.
Right, and Joe, you know, they're already starting way behind the line of scrimmage, and if any penetration at all by St. Thomas More, it's going to be tough.
Down under 10 minutes, 4th and inches from inside the 1. Trojans having trouble getting the right personnel out there. 22 seconds. Datlin Cunningham is behind Joe. He's going to get banged around at the line of scrimmage, but they'll mark him at the 4, and that's going to be a first down and goal for your Trojans.
I would have liked to have seen him put the head down a little bit. He was running straight up, but I think maybe we got a good spot.
The official to the near side has marked it on the 4-yard line, and that's going to be true for the first. We'll see what they do, though, when the ball gets set down. And they do give it to them. First down and goal for the Trojans from inside the 5 to the 4.
I'm curious to how much that down marker over that calls.
That's a nice one, isn't it?
Nice one.
Look, it makes me feel like my eyes are better here. A big shout out to Wallace Eye Associates. They keep my eyes in shape like they are now. So big shout out to those folks. And being our scoreboard sponsor on all 3 networks.
Got the slant over here to the wide side. And
they're looking that way.
And got a hole.
And it's there. Touchdown. That is Amirion Mingo. Touchdown, Trojans.
Heck of a catch because the defensive man was all over him, tackled him actually before the ball got there, and then no call, but he still made the catch.
42-32, Trojans line up and will go for 2. They're down 10. This to get it to a 1-score game. 94 points in last year's game. They got 74 in this one with still 9 minutes to go. Take the over anytime the Cougars and the Trojans do battle.
The coach is in the press box up here trying to get the H back in the right position. And we got motion.
They'll call illegal motion, it looks like, against the Trojans. But the play clock was down to 1 second, so they were going to get the motion or they were going to get delay on that.
Yeah, the blocking back hadn't been set a full count, and for the back went in motion that time. So we
remember that play all too well.
Absolutely.
42-32, Trojans with an opportunity to get this back to a 1-score game. Those missed extra points early have the Trojans chasing points in this game.
Once again, we're talking special teams and having trouble getting play in here.
Down to 24 seconds on the play clock, so you have a lot of time. but this will go a long way in determining how the Trojans have to run offensively when they get the ball back following this stop.
Thought we might get a little pick route
Mingo in motion. He settles in besides Joe. He's going to get the inside handoff. Now he's going to do the throwback. Oh, Joe's going to get lit up too. Yeah, you saw the defenders coming in, and that's a great call, but that's tough to lay your quarterback out like that.
Yeah, they saw it coming. That was a good recovery by St. Thomas More. The linebackers and the linemen on that side sniffed it out, and they were out there to make the play.
Mingo is listed as the backup quarterback in this. One of them, he played quarterback at Marksville before he made his way to Rapides Parish. So 10-point is the deficit now. The Trojans have got to get a stop now. They're still 2 scores away in this one.
Take a chance on the onside kick here, or you can kick it deep and hope the defense can get a stop.
I think in this one, you kick it deep. There's a lot of time on the clock, and you've got a couple of scores left in this one to get.
Either that or put a worm burner. And once again, they got a big gap in there, but I'd put a sky kick because there's nobody between the 10-yard line and the 40.
That's right. And
Pop
so
it up.
St. Thomas More lining up playing for what they feel is an onside kick.
Yeah.
And you're right, Coach. There's just some acreage out there.
Even the back guys would have to sprint to get up there if he kicked it up in the air just over the front line.
And he doesn't. He sits this one kind of a sideways kick. It's going to check up around the 8-yard line and off and goes the – so the – well, I'm telling you, the difference of a kicking game in this, the Trojans have been spoiled the last few years.
Yeah, and contain on the outside. They're getting up the sideline where guys are running down the middle of the field, and then they're breaking it to the outside, and we only got one guy out there. But you're right, the kicking game in the past has been in the end zone every time, and the coverage team practically didn't even have to go down the field.
First down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Watch for a steady diet of running the football, and there is the first one. Trojans come up, make the stop, not until a 3-yard gain. Second down and 7, just inside the 40 for St. Thomas More.
Yeah, you can bet they're going to try to burn some clock here and then maybe lull the Trojans to sleep and try to hit a big one every once in a while. But I'm looking at these guys. Some of those guys are not very tall. Stature, number 27 looks like he's about 5'5", but he's a bowling ball type. And then some of the other guys, they're not real tall, but they're
the defense that's huddled up by the defensive coaches here on the sideline. That's about as many players as some of the teams we cover have completely on their team.
Yeah, they got everybody over there. It looks like 25 players. So
second down and 7. There's the inside handoff. Chris Clark turns the guy around into the inside, and that's a good play by Chris Clark coming out of the corner spot.
That's some of the changes we made. They've been able to turn that ball back inside where before they were getting around the end and picking up big yardage.
Still a lot of work to do in this one. Trojans trail it by 10. Kicking game is not really on their side, so you got to think they need a couple of touchdowns to go. Don't have to go for 2 the next time around because that's not going to help them any.
And hadn't seen St. Thomas More's punting team at all because they have not had to punt.
Third down and 6, they call it. We'll call it a long 6, maybe a short 7, but 42-32 the lead for St. Thomas More with 7:39 remaining fourth quarter. Here comes motion. Wanting the offsides, but not getting it, and so turning it into a timeout. And had they snapped the football, Coach, it would have been there.
Yeah,
but
was
encroachment was not called. And that will cause St. Thomas More to get the timeout with just a minute or so to go. Very impressed with the facilities down here. Our first trip ever to St. Thomas More, but knowing the history that they have had, you had to expect you were going to walk in to not only a field like this, facilities like this, but an atmosphere like this. The fans truly know the game here and have been having a good time with it.
Well, if you can look across the way there, they've got signs over there. They've been in the state playoffs and just about every year practically, and even before they changed up and had the divisions, Division 1, 2, and 3 and so forth, they've always been there. They've got a lot of talent. Of course, there's a lot of money spent, on the facilities and stuff, and you would want to come here. You got turf field, nice facilities, and good following by the people.
Here we go, 3rd down and 6.
Oh.
Slant over the middle is complete, and that's just a big-time pitch and big-time catch there. And that will get a fresh set of downs and allow St. Thomas More to continue to run some clock off here. That was Connor Stelly with the reception.
And you can bet we're going to see 3 more yards in the cloud of dust here for the next, trying to burn some more clock.
This is what you call that 4-minute offense. Ever familiar with the 2-minute offense where everyone's hurrying? 4-minute offense, you're trying to drain that clock and get as much of it off you can. You got a 2-score lead in this one. Do the Cougars of St. Thomas More trying just to grind this one out.
You have to have a come up with a turnover, fumble, or something here. Otherwise, they're going to pretty much run the clock out if they're able to pick up 2 or 3 more first downs.
Trojans trying to avoid this big Bryce rushing that gets those big paws up and makes the tackle. That's a solo tackle, credit to them. He had 10 of those last week.
Nice job. He fought off the block and was able to make the tackle. And we got
helmet
Trojan
comes
down.
off of Wyatt Dozart, so he's going to have to come off the field anyway.
25-13, Eagles over Pineville.
Menard looking to break a streak that goes back to the 80s, Coach, the 90s.
It's
been
a
20-something years.
We
since
used to play Menard, Tioga, Pineville, all of us back in the 80s and 90s.
They lead that one 25-13, we said? 25-13. We'll try to get a Buckeye score for you as
Fourth
well.
Quarter, he said.
Buckeye was trailing 6-0 to St. Mary's in that game early on. You see the 20-0 St. Mary's has the lead over Buckeye, and so not a great night for the Panthers. That's the 3 teams that are on our networks here at 446 Sports, along with the Trojans who trail in this one 42-32. Play action, looking to go deep, good pressure, and just throwing that away.
Man,
and that's the new rule, that once you're outside the tackle box and get the ball to the line of scrimmage, that it is no longer grounding.
Yeah,
and that's the better throwing quarterback we've seen, Will Taylor, that is in there. But it pays dividends to the Trojans as it stops the clock for them.
And they're going to look like take the hydration timeout while it's 6:06 to go.
That's new, but we'll take it with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Ash Trojan Football on 446 Sports.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Back to St. Thomas More. Great work by Coach Lott there, hitting the buttons, pulling the lever down, all of that. Here comes pressure. Stepping up is Taylor.
Fumble.
Ball is on the ground. And falling right on there. Great job by the and that has Taylor shaken up just a little bit, as it looked like he tripped some going through the line.
And the kind of got his arm caught underneath there. The Trojan fell on top of him, and
so the Trojans get the stop that they need.
I'd like to see a block punt right here.
32-13 now. Menard all over Pineville. 55-yard pick six by Carson Harrison. And so
It's going to be a long year for the Rebels, I'm afraid.
It'll be an interesting night on Wednesday, but I won't make it this Wednesday. We've been going out to the Eagles Nest Coaches Show, but we will have the Thomas Bachman Show live from Walk-Ons this Wednesday as our Natchitoches Central game at Turpin Stadium. First return there since we all remember when.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
And that game is on Thursday night, so it moves the Thomas Bachman Show to Wednesday night. Come out and see us at Walk-Ons. We'll be out on the patio out there. Had a great time last night. And we'll be able to talk about this fantastic 2 touchdowns that the Trojans score in the last 5:26 next week. Snap is back. This is a high shank of a punt. And that's going to hit and check up and take a tremendous St. Thomas More roll. And, man, it couldn't get any better for the Cougars tonight, as everything literally has rolled their way.
Yeah, I thought if it had bounced back the other way, it would have been on the ball on about the 35, 40-yard line. Instead, it bounced and went the other way, and it's on the 15, 16-yard line. It's just that's the way things have gone pretty much for the Trojans tonight. It's close but no cigar.
Again, you'll be able to see this game in its entirety sometime overnight or in the morning. It'll be up officially on all of our pages. Again, some contractual things kept us from being able to air this one in its entirety. So make sure that you come back and check out that first half action tomorrow. Snap is back. Snap throw complete to Mingo. Slung down, out of bounds, and outside. 5 minutes to go. Trojans now will pick things up, and they flip it over to a 2-minute offense because you've got to score and score quick if you're going to have any opportunity to get the ball back.
Got to give credit to Mingo. He's made some outstanding catches. The ball's been a little bit high, and he's been able to pluck it down even though he didn't pick up much yardage that time.
Handoff is there to Cunningham. Cutting to the middle is Cunningham, and
hadn't been for the big safety back there, he would have been 6.
Joe down again on that one, gets back up, and now hustles to the line of scrimmage, trying to bust a big one there and keep St. Thomas more honest, and you can do that when they're back in that type of prevent coverage.
Right. Number 3, he's a big hand there. He looks like he's about 6'3", probably goes about 195, 185, and he nice lick on the running back that time.
First down and 10 for the Trojans. Back to passes. Joe fires that one out there, complete. Jalen Johnson has it. That's another first down, and he's carrying Cougar defenders down to the 43-yard line. Jalen Johnson, who has just been the recipient of several good catches tonight. 4:06. Trojans really need to get something over the next, within the next minute. They're going to have to score to give themselves some time to get a stop and another score. Back to pass. This time it is in and out of the hands, and looked like Mingo saw that the defenders were coming up on him and would have been hit pretty hard. Let that one go. And the one good thing it does, you weren't going to gain any yards out of it, and that keeps the clock stopped.
Right. Probably the better part of valor there that time to let it go and get another shot at it.
Well, you're not going to get a receiver behind this defense as they are 20 yards off the ball. Joe will throw this screen.
Tried to run before he got it.
Yeah, it looked like he was setting it up to get to Cunningham, and now it's 3rd down and 10. So any thoughts of a second touchdown really rely on this first touchdown, and the Trojans hoping not to bog down. They sit at 3rd down and 10 from the Cougar 37-yard line. Again, you've got that seam in the middle of the zone. If you can just get a receiver out past about 8-yard line, or past about 8 yards to go.
Looks like this guy on this side over here for St. Thomas More is lined up in the neutral zone. But
looked like our Trojan Washington is up. Now he steps back. Yeah, I thought he was looking in to see past our slot receiver. 3rd down and 10. Back to passes. Joe.
3-man rush.
Fires that fastball in there, and it is a catch to Mingo. And I mean, he just put that on a rope. To Mingo. Clock will stop momentarily to reset the chains. Trojans have it 1st and 10 from the 36, and that's a hard pass as we've thrown out of Joe. Seen thrown out of Joe in 2 years that we followed him. 1st down and 10. Joe back to pass. Zips this one the other side again to Mingo. He's going to get down the sideline before he's taken out of bounds. They say that he was in bounds, though, Coach.
Yeah, naturally. That was 2 fast balls in a row. Joe's turning it loose. It looks like they're back throwing the baseball. 2nd
down and 2. Again, you got about 20 seconds in
Number
that
97 checking
left.
in. Got too many men on
Got to snap
field.
the ball, and that's going to, they jump down, does St. Thomas More, and get a touchdown, Coach, because that penalty would have given the Trojans a 1st down.
Absolutely. The referee blew it dead just as the coach got there. I thought we had snapped the ball before we actually got the whistle blown, but at any rate, they got the timeout.
You know, you get much closer in this because the Trojans do have timeouts, a couple of timeouts, so they have an opportunity to kick it deep. I don't think you have to go for the onside kick. If you can get a touchdown somewhere between that 2:45 and 3-minute mark with 2 timeouts, you're just going to have to put a couple of stops together.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little slant route here, quick slant, because like I say, they're backing off a good 10 yards. He could get it in the open field and try to make a move, either Mingo or number 11 there.
Trojans trying to avoid going 0-2 to start the 2022 campaign. Got a lot of work to do. That 35-20 loss to Karen Crow, and they trail 42-32 on the road to St. Thomas More here tonight on this beautiful Friday night in September.
And the cloud lightning went away, so going to have to finish this game. Ooh.
Handoff is there. No, Joe's going to keep that and slide for the first down. Wow, Joe on the keeper, and that was a tremendous read. Had us all fooled. Yeah. Not all of us. Cameraman was on it.
Well, I thought for sure that he had given it to the running back, and he picked up the big first down right there.
First down and 10 just outside the 20. Joe back to pass, setting up the screen again. That's Jalen. Jalen trying to spin to the outside. That'll keep the clock moving, so the Trojans will have to go quickly. Cannot use their timeouts on this drive. They have got to get and save those for a stoppage.
Jalen could have come back to the middle that time. He elected to go straight up the field, and he had blockers coming, but they just didn't get there in time.
3 receivers now to the near side. Watch the Trojans try to bust something with Cunningham. No, Joe zips that one in there. Going to be low. We'll see if they call it the completion, and it does. That is a great low snag by the Trojans' Jimmy Duncan, but shy of the first down. Keeps that clock running, and now the Trojans are getting to a point, Coach, where they may have to go for the onside kick. 2:14 remaining in the game. Toss goes back to Cunningham's got to make a man miss. Gets the first down. They'll mark him outside the 10 to the 11, and that will stop the clock momentarily, we think. Running off slow to stop and quick to start. First down and 10, 2 minutes even, 120 seconds remain in this one, and the clock is moving as it is marked ready for play, and they got to get that offense going, get the play called and ready to go. 2 to the top, 2 to the near side, trying to spring it with a run. That's Cunningham. He's going to be bogged down, and that's going to take a lot of time off of the clock.
They're laying on him. They're going in late and laying on him.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to run somebody off again. Trojans need to snap the football, and they'll get it 5 yards. They do. Should be a call right in front of the official. Jump ball in the end zone. No good, but did not get the guy off of the field right in front of the near side official.
Now that was definitely a home cooking right there because he didn't get off the field. We got it on film, and they didn't call it.
Minute 28 to go here, 3rd down and 6. Trojans have got to get into the end zone. Not enough confidence in your kicking game to try the field goal here and get your onside and go back. Touchdown is what you're after this deep into St. Thomas More territory. It's going to take a miracle in this one. Trojans have got to get the touchdown, the extra point, and then they've got to get the onside kick. You're definitely at a point where you have to get the onside kick now. Watch for the fade to the end zone. They've got Jalen Johnson, and the Trojans will spend a timeout, which almost surely relegates them to an onside kick. But beforehand, this touchdown has got to be there, and not sure how it was missed here, running off the field right in front of the near side official.
That would be a good one to send to the LHSA to blown call. Of course, they're not going to do anything about it, but that was the case that you had to see him because he was running right in front of the side of the judge official over here, the same one that called the pass interference.
When they get these.
Oh, now you're getting food over here. See? I see how he is. Didn't bring us any though.
Y'all probably stop on the bus on the way home, won't you?
No, that yellow dog going home, man. Who's driving this bus? That's right.
42-32. Minute 28 remaining here from Cougar Stadium. St. Thomas More, your Trojans have some work to do in this one. This is game 2 of a 3-game set with St. Thomas More. They will return to Alexandria next year, but some unfinished business tonight. Trojans won game 1 last season. Have some hefty work to pull off to get this one done. Back to pass is Bordelon. Surveying the field. Throws it high over the intended head of Amirion Mingo. And it all boils down to this 4th down and 6. Now the Trojans do not have to get into the end zone here. You got to believe that any play, though, Coach, will take them. I don't really see a play.
Looks like we're going for a field goal here.
And they are bringing the field goal unit out. They are.
And there's confusion about who's supposed to be out there. There's somebody that's late getting onto the field.
Mingo is on to hold. Datlin Cunningham is the up back. Don't be surprised, perhaps, if there's a fake here. This would be a 25-yard field goal attempt. The Trojans have to have 2 scores. What an opportunity to try to get one of them. St. Thomas More
calls a timeout.
Their best Belichick in trying to ice the kicker here. St. Thomas More uses the timeout. And goodness gracious.
And we were close to, running out of time there to get the kicker set up because of the last-minute decision of whether to go for the score or for a field goal.
This one is as straight on as you will find. It's 25 yards as the ball will be placed at the 15-yard line off the tee.
And we got the new kicker that's, is that the one that
trying to
just
see
recruited?
who's out there
That's
kicking.
Number 42. And I'm not sure if we got 42.
No. Game rides on this call. We'll let you watch it. That one is up and it's drifting left, and it is good. 25-yard field goal. And I told you, Coach, what they needed to do was get the points right there and then come back. And great job on that 25-yard field goal. Makes this a 7-point game.
You got number 23 coming out. He's going to do the old soccer roll it down the field job, I would think, here to try to get the onside. I don't think the pooch kick we can get down the field quick enough unless he can really sky the ball. I don't know if they worked on it or not, but
no, and
not a whole lot of defense. 42-35. Nobody stopped anybody really for the most part, other than a few mistakes.
But again, Coach, you go back and look at it. It was 21-0, and the Trojans have outscored St. Thomas More 35-21 following that. But man, you got to quit
giving people a 3-touchdown lead to start the game. That's what's killing us. But you got to give St. Thomas More credit. They were ready to go, and they came out and slapped us in the mouth early, which I was hoping that Trojans would start a little better than they did last week.
Now, Coach, this is one of those that you can just kick it to the side, and then it's a scramble for it deep because you've only got one man deep.
Yeah, he's got to get over there whichever side you kick it to. Let's see. Here we go.
Here comes the onside kick right up the middle. It bounces around and is going to be covered up, and that recovery will just about wrap things up. You'll see St. Thomas More just a couple of knees away in this one as a couple onside kicks or a couple of kneel downs.
He got the high hop like he wanted, but we just didn't have the guys down there close enough.
So setting things up for you for next week. Wednesday night, we will be live at Walk-Ons. We invite you to come out there as the Trojans. We'll talk a little bit about this game, and we'll talk about that trip up to Natchitoches Central.
I'll try to make that one. I think I don't have to drive anybody that Wednesday.
There you go. Snap is back. Handoff is there. Spun around. Now we just need one of those Florida State toss sweeps on the goal line and bounce it around just a little bit.
Coach told him to go for try to tackle the football, and we stood him up that time. We just needed one more guy to come in and try to rip it out.
And they have not adjusted the timeouts. I don't know. I think that is the Trojans' final timeout.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chris Clark looks like he's got a cramp. He's trying to walk it off out there. Got to get somebody to hold him up and somebody to try to jerk the ball out, but you can see the St. Thomas More, he had two hands on the football. He was hanging on to it for dear life. So, they know that's one thing. There's smart kids here know the football game of football, and they, I'm sure, talk to them about hanging on to it.
Well, what an interesting trip down 49 tonight it has been. The Trojans show a lot of, again, resiliency, but you start getting tired of using that word.
Right. They need to come with the ump to begin with and start out with a bang, and then instead of playing from behind behind every time.
Menard beats Pineville 32-13.
32-13. Menard breaks the streak. They beat the Rebels tonight. Yeah, let's. How about we catch one and toss it here, put it on the ground, something. Running around and just trying to burn some more clock, and slides down. Officially going to be marked as a sack, but that's going to run off a lot of that clock as they have not reset the clock. And Bachman out on the field trying to get a timeout. We'll see if they put some time back on the clock as it ran off about 8 seconds there afterwards.
And on top of that, they didn't reset the 40-second clock.
See if they call back up there. Needless to, yeah, and they do. They put 59 seconds on, so they put 5 seconds back on the clock. If the Trojans can get a quick stop, then they will force a punt or perhaps a runaround in the backfield too. This is that opportunity.
Timeouts, do they?
You just no, but if you can get it under that 40 seconds. If you're St. Thomas More, I think you have an opportunity to just go back a little ways and run around some and try to run off. Yeah, try to run off. And you're not opposed to going back and perhaps taking a safety and getting away from there, because you're going to run off a lot of time if you do that.
Don't get stripped of the ball.
1:04, so they put a full 10 seconds back on the clock. 1:04 remains. The Trojans have just got to come up and make something happen on this play and not give up something that takes up a lot of time.
No.
Snap is back, running to the near side this time. Here comes the pressure, and he'll slide down with about a minute. So the Trojans are liable to get it back with about 15 seconds. Play clock has not started yet. Have not started the play
clock.
And that's 9 seconds difference in it. So the Trojans, this is one of those you run back and you just take the safety if you're St. Thomas More. And there's a timeout, and Bachman is out on the field once again, saying, look, there's no way that's happened. So they'll put some more time back on the clock once again. Trojans should have it. Should get it back with about 10 seconds to go if my math is right. But again, if you're St. Thomas More, you just run around, perhaps throw the ball up in the air out of bounds.
They got putting 53 and they got 40 on the play clock. So
they'll get it. They'll run it back with 13. Well, the play clock has started before the game clock, so now that works in the Trojans' favor. So now they're going to stop it again and then reset that. Told you before, you can't beat fun at the old ball game.
it's like everywhere else, they can't find
Now it's
officials.
back to 48 seconds and 40.
So now they're winding the clock.
Now they should run both of them, and they do. So it'll be about a 13-second difference. Going to take a little Trojan magic, but if you're St. Thomas More, I think all you do is just run around and then get out of the back of the end zone, and you pretty much use up the bulk of that. You'll have a free kick to get away.
Use that or do the little soccer-style run to the right and then eventually kick it. Yeah, rugby kick.
What you can't do if you're St. Thomas More is shank you very much.
Yeah.
Cannot put one up into the stands over here.
They should use a big snap over his head would be nice.
That one's there. The kick is away. And calling for the fair catch, and it's going to be made at the 45. 13 seconds on the clock, as we said. And the Trojans have an opportunity.
For 2 plays, maybe.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened, but it's going to take a miracle for sure.
Indeed, they have. It's going to take a little hook and lateral. It's going to take a little something, but
they're going to have somebody standing on about the 20 down here, safeties and the cornerbacks on the 20-yard line, 3 deep, and then everybody else are going to have a 3-man rush and 8 people defending. Crowd
here
trying to
we
get them
go.
pumped up.
The crowd from St. Thomas More getting loud. The defense is back.
Got to give Joe time to run around back there.
Back to pass, trying to get one out of there and in and out of the hands, and was falling down. And Joe looking for a penalty, and it's not going to be called. So now the Trojans have to get back. They use 5 seconds off of the clock on that play. They have no timeouts remaining. This entire St. Thomas More crowd is on their feet. Cowbells are ringing. Never did like them cowbells.
Mississippi State, what's the deal?
Right? Never did like those cowbells. And Joe put some zip on that one. You got to get something to the outside. That'll work. Back to. They're going to call a false start against the Trojans, and that will back them up just a little bit. And definitely the cowbells are ringing, and the folks here have seen quite a game. Trojans have it 2nd down and 15 from their own 40. Still 8 ticks of the clock remaining. And you've got a wall of defenders about, 10, 20, 30 yards down the field, 35 yards down the field. There are 3 defenders. So you've got to get it over that front initial group of 8 defenders and then toss the ball around and hope for the best. Here, 8 seconds remain. Joe, strong arm, can get it into the end zone, has to have time. That one zipped out there, complete, going to be tackled inbounds, and that's going to run off the last 3 seconds of it. What a tremendous job.
They stopped the clock for the move the chains.
Great job of tackling, and that is going to end this one. St. Thomas More will come out of here with the victory. And credit that young man, Coach, that made the tackle, because he tackles the young man in bounds, kept him in bounds. And my goodness, this one is going to end. St. Thomas More 42, your Trojans 35. Ash will drop to 0-2 on the season, and my goodness, what a furious comeback that gets thwarted there right at the end. Great. You get tired of using the word resiliency, but the Trojans, my goodness.
We just got to have some get up and go to begin with. That's been the difference in the game. I think the last 2 games we've, down 21 points and then fight back. We've got to come out and be up 21 points or at least a couple of touchdowns and then let the other team have to fight to get back.
Trojans have a Thursday night game next week. They will travel up I-49 this time instead of down I-49 like we did this time. What a game. They fought back brilliantly in this one, but unable to really finish things off, Coach, and just a tough start to the season for the Trojans as they drop this one 42-35 to a very solid St. Thomas More team. And goodness is all that you can say. You cannot spot a team 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's I don't know what the answer is. I know the coaches are working hard. The guys have just got to know that when they come out and step on the field, it's got to be 120% to start the game, and it's not happening. And it's just a case of effort to me. St. Thomas More put a lot more effort in the first couple of series and just slapped us in the mouth, and then, give credit. Trojans came back and fought, but it's too late.
Yeah, like we said, the good news for the last 3.5 quarters, they outscored St. Thomas More 35-21. Bad news was first half of the first quarter, St. Thomas More was up 21-0, and that results in a 42-35 defeat.
And another thing, these teams that they're playing is not exactly your lower tier teams.
Correct.
For sure. I mean,
correct.
Karen Crow and St. Thomas More have been in the playoffs practically every year. So
they'll all end up. Well, Karen Crow 2 years away from a state championship. A couple of years ago, they had theirs. So this was what you talked about when you knew the schedule. When you saw it come out, knew it was going to be difficult, and it was proven that you'd like to come out and win both games. A split, maybe 1-1. But the Trojans go 0-2. Muddy surface last week results in a 35-20 loss, and just a night where they fell behind 21-0 results in a 42-35 loss. Trojans fall to 0-2, Coach, and we've got some work to do. They'll get back. They'll watch some film tonight. The tape-delayed issues in this one had us not going until around halftime in it, but you'll be able to watch this game in its entirety. Go back and watch it. It was a good one. We'll have it up sometime throughout the night or in the morning and check it out from there. Coach, any final thoughts?
Just that I got to drive that slow bus back down the interstate doing 55 miles an hour. Just hope I don't get run over, but I'll be at the Bachman show this Wednesday. I don't think I actually have to drive anybody for a change. And
indeed,
see what Coach Bachman has to say about Natchitoches Central Chiefs.
We'll be looking forward to seeing you out there, and we'll have some highlights of this one, and we'll gather it all up. So big shout-out to our cameraman, Brett Stallsby, made the trip up here with us, our executive producer, Chuck Perkins, who kept everything running smoothly for us. My man Ernie Lott by my side, as always, in his 92nd year of calling high school football. So glad to have you here. That's the longest person to ever be in a booth and still be upright is head coach Ernie Lott. And, of course, our big thanks to all of our sponsors, Giles Hyundai, Sadler's Towing, and all-MC Wallace Eye Associates up on the scoreboard, Valex Federal Credit Union, BK Distributors, and all of the others. It's like politicians. You don't start mentioning sponsors because inevitably you're going to forget one. Could not do any of this without all of the fans that are watching back home. For all of those involved, I'm Doug Gann. We'll see you next time. God bless you all and good night. You've been watching As Trojan Football on 446 Sports.